In addition to a refund or travel voucher whenever the airline is to blame for the disruption. Airlines have blamed staffing shortages for many of the recent issues. Parents joined Texas Democrats pushing for gun reform nearly 1 year since the mass shooting at Uvalde Elementary School.
At the end of every day, I'm just a mom who wants my daughter back.
Kim Rubio lost her daughter in Uvalde last May 24th. Javier Cazares lost his little girl too. He tells Texas Republicans stopping gun reform.
It's sad to say, but more blood will be on your hands.
They joined advocates and Democrats in Austin to urge passage of reforms for more background checks and to raise the age to buy a gun. The GOP-controlled legislature is not likely to address it, leading Laura Garza, who lost her niece, to ask,
why is that not enough? Is that not personal enough for y'all?
2 recent deadly Texas shootings have renewed calls for reform.
Fox's Gernal Scott, the Texas governor, says mental health needs to be addressed. Closing arguments winding down in a civil trial against former President Trump. Writer E. Jean Carroll sued him for sexual assault and defamation, claiming an attack at a dressing room decades ago. Trump has said it never happened. He did not testify, the jury only hearing from him in a taped deposition. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Chances for more rain. 75 degrees, mostly sunny downtown. Rain could come back this afternoon with a low of 53 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for Lake City Bank. Here's what's trending at 3:02. You might have had rain, hail, or even tornadoes in your area over the weekend.
It looks like we'll have one more day where we could have some thunderstorms that would come through central Indiana.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service says the entire state could get some thunderstorms today, sometime after 4 this afternoon. The National Weather Service did confirm a tornado touchdown in New Albany Sunday. The tornado touched down just before 9 in the morning, had winds stronger than 100 miles per hour, and it was ranked as an EF1. An employee at a Dollar General in Lawrence was shot this afternoon. Police say it happened at the store off Pendleton Pike around 1:30 p.m. The woman shot is in critical condition. Police believe the suspect was someone the woman knew. An Indianapolis hotel project has a new backer. Jaden Arnold reports on the latest development.
You may have already known that a new 40-story hotel called the Signia by Hilton is being built on the Pan Am Plaza site. But now the city is footing the bill, spending at least $510 million. The Kite Realty Group Trust couldn't get the money they needed for the project, according to Gary Dick from Inside Indiana Business.
Kite Realty says it can't do the deal. It can't put a deal together in this rising interest rate environment. And so the city believes that it is important enough to step in.
Dick on WIBC's Tony Katz. The hotel is set to be completed by 2026. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A report by ESPN says the Washington Commanders reached out to former Indianapolis Colts quarterback Andrew Luck last offseason.
Even though Luck retired in 2019, his playing rights still belong to the Colts. I'm Sean Herrick. And Colts owner Jim Irsay said Sunday night that any team attempting to contact Luck is violating the NFL's tampering policy. Luck is retired and has made it clear that he has no intention of coming back to the NFL. Direct contact with a player is not required for a violation to happen. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Michaelis presents Password. Is basement. Okay. Wet.
Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet.
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy.
Underwear.
It's basement.
Oh.
Really? Moldy underwear?
Well, sometimes.
Ew. I did not need to know that. Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Call today. Make it Michaelis. Michaelis.
Come on. Take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Bear.
Southbound 65 looking good right now coming into downtown. Now northbound 65 on the south side is South Fort Road. That is a crash blocking the right lane. Not a lot of delay. Northbound 37 is jammed. Effler up to 465 because of construction. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies, a few scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Some of those storms could be severe, a high of 78. Rain ends after midnight, cooler, a low of 56. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters?
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Violence in this city, man. As Rick Snyder, president of the FOP, says, it is surging and it is spreading, and he believes Indy is in crisis, and I do too. What a violent weekend. I hate starting off segments like this, Hammer. You know that. But it's something really nobody is talking about. At least our local elected officials aren't really saying anything about it.
Here's the thing. It's not just Indianapolis. We're talking about Broad Ripple now, too. So when you think about populated areas throughout central Indiana, obviously downtown Indianapolis is going to be number one. You got Monument Circle. You got a lot of the restaurants. You've got, hotels. It's a very popular place to be. This is why Indianapolis hosts so many conventions. But then you've got Broad Ripple. And Broad Ripple, maybe we just haven't noticed it, those downtown anyway, but Broad Ripple's been getting a little dicey lately. And this past weekend, things completely went off the rails. We'll get to Broad Ripple here in just a moment. But here's the thing that bothers me more than anything else, Nige, and I know we've got some numbers to get to, but so many media outlets in this city have access to the mayor. Okay, the mayor will never come on this show. We would love for Joe Hogsett to come on this show. He's got an open invite. The prosecutor, Ryan Mears, will never come on this show. He also has an open invite. But every TV station in this city has their political reporter that does the political shows on the weekend. All of these people have had conversations with Joe Hogsett. All of these people have had conversations with Ryan Mears. Nobody really wants to ask the tough questions to these guys, and I wonder why. I mean, every once in a while, you'll see a story online, from a TV station in the city that says crime is surging. Joe Hogsett addresses the crime. But nobody wants to ask, why is your prosecutor letting repeat offenders out time after time? And by the way, where were you during those riots?
Yeah, they got to make the administration look as good as possible, in my opinion. They can't ask the tough questions. And it's strange because tough questions like that are being asked in big cities like Chicago and Philly,
right,
and New York City.
It doesn't matter your political affiliation.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Chicago is a very liberal city. I don't know personally the media members there, but I would guess a lot of them lean liberal. But they would grill Lori Lightfoot. They would go after their leadership. Everybody around here wants to get access, and they want to be buddies. And please come back on my weekend show on Sunday morning that nobody watches. Please come on back. Nobody wants to be tough with the leaders of this city about what's going on here, and that's a shame. So let's look at some numbers here.
Ugh.
So from Friday through Sunday here in Indianapolis, at least 11 people shot, 5 people stabbed, 5 killed. That's just the weekend, Friday through Sunday. So when you're breaking down the numbers here, that's a person shot or stabbed every 4.5 hours and a person killed every 14 hours on the average. So we had victims at deadly shootings on the northeast side, identified as 17 and 18-year-olds. That shooting happened, I think, around 2 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, near 38th and Franklin. So, again, the weather warms up, the violence comes out, and all of these folks in the city that have access to the mayor and the prosecutor, they don't want to ask the tough questions.
And all the while in the background, meanwhile, IMPD having trouble meeting their recruiting goals. They are understaffed right now.
Because those people that we mentioned, they're looking for every reason to blame IMPD. If you're a police officer and you just look at somebody squirrely, Boss Hogsett and Ryan Mears, the gruesome twosome, they're looking to make the officer the one that faces some sort of charges or corrective activity, emboldening the bad people in this city. So let's go to Broad Ripple, okay? Wild weekend in Broad Ripple. Maybe if you're on social media, you've seen some of these videos, but residents say they heard between 30 to 40 gunshots outside the G Block Urban Lofts, which is near 64th and Guilford, around 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it was like the heart of Broad Ripple.
Right. And that wasn't the only action they saw. There were shots fired. Someone was hit. Some homes were damaged. Multiple incidents throughout Broad Ripple this weekend.
A buddy of mine's business got hit. Yeah.
So what's he have to say? Like, where's he at?
I'll tell you exactly what he said. And I'm keeping him anonymous. I'm not going to say his name, where he works. The last 3 summers have been bad and each getting increasingly worse. I've complained to our city councilor via voicemail and email and didn't get a response. The combination of lax policing and Broad Ripple Avenue being closed, which pushes all the traffic and parking into the further reaches of the village, has turned Broad Ripple into a hellscape from Friday night until Sunday morning. The ineffective city government won't save us. We may need to band together to create private security solutions. Now, the only thing I'd push back on is, lax policing. The policing is stretched as thin as possible for reasons you just mentioned. But that is from the perspective of a Broad Ripple business owner right there.
And for those who think your friend who's a business owner in Broad Ripple may be overreacting, here is the audio from one of the videos that anybody can find on social media. Keep in mind, this happened right in the heart of Broad Ripple during a time where a lot of people are out. That's a lot of gunshots.
Dude, I've seen some video. There's video out there now too. It was nuts. It was nuts.
90 shell casings found in that area, according to a report from an IMPD officer. 90. That's a lot. So you're right. We hate to start a segment this way, but it's shaping up to be a really bad year in terms of numbers here in Marion County.
If it doesn't slow down, we're going to break records.
And when you look at the folks that are the perpetrators of these crimes, because I know the Russ McQuades of the world and the Moms Demand Action of the world are going to blame guns. It's constitutional carry. It's the guns. Do you really feel like the kind of guy or girl that would shoot somebody in a crowded bar street gives 2 damns about whether or not it's legal to have your firearm with or without a permit? Do you think they were waiting for the law to change? Because I don't think that's how things work around here. This is a county, for those listening that might live in different counties, Marion County, where Nigel and I are at right now, where WIBC's building is, this is a county where the criminals feel emboldened right now.
Absolutely. And by the way, again, in the backdrop, other donut counties are actively recruiting IMPD officers to leave their job and come work for them for smaller town, equal pay, more pay, support from the local administration. And it makes perfect sense. They're already trained. I mean, would you rather work with what you saw on Friday night in Broad Ripple or, manage parade traffic in Zionsville? You know what I mean?
With a mayor and a leadership that probably supports law enforcement, unlike here in Indianapolis, which, oh, by the way, last time I checked, the mayor is up for election this November. So keep an eye on the statistics, keep an eye on what's going on with your policing in your neighborhood, and remember, the mayor is up for election in November. The other big story is what's happening in Texas, Nigel. As crazy as Central Indy was, Texas is completely insane right now. So let's start at the border. 700,000 illegal aliens are just waiting until Thursday, until Title 42 is officially gone, to pretty much just walk right across the border into the United States. Now, to put that in perspective, that number, which we're being generous with, if you look at some of the drone video, That's 5 times the number of the Russian troops that originally mobilized to invade Ukraine. So when we say the southern border is about to be invaded, it's not some sort of snarky term that we're just throwing out there. That's a big number.
Biden's on it, though. He's sending 1,200 troops down to process paperwork.
And Mayorkas is there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Mayorkas is down there, so everybody sleep easy tonight. Jorge Ventura, this is the name of a reporter with News Nation. He's covering what's happening at the border. He's in El Paso. Take a listen.
Reporting in El Paso, this is the current scene right now. As you guys can see, this is a true humanitarian crisis. This is the streets of El Paso. There are roughly 2,500 migrants released onto the streets, sleeping here. Not all migrants have NTAs, that's the notice of here, but these are the living conditions. The majority of the migrants that we've been speaking with are from Venezuela. We've also spoke to migrants from Nicaragua, Colombia, Turkey, Africa, and many more. What migrants are telling me is the reason they're crossing now is because Title 42 is officially ending, and they've already spoke to other family members that have been released in the United States. There have been reports of chickenpox breaking out in some of these migrant camps here in El Paso, but there's migrants all over the streets right now. It is a true humanitarian crisis.
A true humanitarian crisis at the border right now. And honestly, that wasn't the only headline from Texas this past weekend. A gunman opened fire on an outlet mall in a Dallas suburb, killing at least 8. The Washington Post, very quick to remind everybody that he could be a white supremacist.
He's Hispanic, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, because apparently the United States now, we're outsourcing our racists to Mexico. That's what we're doing now.
The guy was mentally ill. I saw a headline on Fox News earlier that said he was the gunman in question was kicked out of the Army due to mental health and was working as a security guard somewhere.
And then I believe this was yesterday, this horrific scene where a driver comes through and just plows a bunch of people sitting around, and multiple fatalities with that. The Brownsville local police department held a press conference, and surprise, surprise, the person that did this had a lengthy rap sheet.
Investigation also revealed that the driver of the vehicle had attempted to flee the scene after impact, but was held down by several individuals on scene. Investigation also revealed that the driver of the vehicle is a Brownsville local with an extensive rap sheet. He has been formally charged and arraigned with 8 counts of manslaughter, 10 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He has received bonds totaling $3.6 million.
So what should have been a great weekend where the weather was, for the most part, pretty solid, a lot of people getting out, just some bad headlines coming out. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on with the roads?
Downtown crash, southbound 6570 near Michigan Street. 2 right lanes are blocked, and we are stop and go back into the north split and onto westbound 70. And we look at inbound 69 starting to slow right now at 82nd Street. Traffic sponsored by Isaacs & Isaacs. Dog bite injury? Call Isaacs & Isaacs. The law firm Indiana has trusted for over 20 years. They'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5. Follow us on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
What an absolutely beautiful day right now. We've got the sun shining, 77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. And when we come back, we've now got the link up. We will tell you all about our Tales from the Track event coming up. Also, rumors of a Tucker Carlson update. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
The Indianapolis Motor Speedway. History. Heartbreak. Heroes. Join Hammer and Nigel May 22nd for Tales from the Track, brought to you by Relay Indiana, with special guest Ed Carpenter. Go beyond the bricks as he talks about his pole wins, becoming an owner, and growing up in the first family of the IMS. Tickets on sale now and include dinner, drinks, and a Q&A with Ed Carpenter. Brought to you by Relay Indiana. For tickets, go to WIBC.com.
Hubler makes it easy to get your perfect car or truck. Get your vehicle your way. They'll help you pre-order a vehicle built just for you. Visit drivehubler.com.
Diamonds Direct invites you to join us as we celebrate all the moms in our lives.
This Mother's Day, we're giving Mom more to say thank you for all she does. With every fashion jewelry purchase of $2,500 or more, we'll give Mom a free customizable diamond initial pendant valued at nearly $800. We've put together an exceptional collection of meaningful gifts for any budget. The perfect heirloom pieces to pass down to the next generation of moms. Birthstone rings, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. This year, she deserves a gift that keeps giving, and at Diamonds Direct, that's our specialty. Timeless gifts of jewelry she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come. Now's a great time to upgrade her diamond studs or pendant with Diamonds Direct's unmatched 110% upgrade. Come let the experts at Diamonds Direct help you find that remarkable gift that says, "Cheers, Mom, for all you do and for who you are." Diamonds Direct. Get locations and store hours at diamondsdirect.com.
Loving my Galaxy concrete garage floor, man. They came in and did this coating, made my garage floor. It was old and cracked and gross, and they turned it into something brand new. It's super easy to clean, and it's super strong. 4 times stronger than what I had because they don't use epoxy. That's like the old standard. This is better. This is polyurea, the new premium standard for coatings. My new Galaxy concrete garage floor is out of this world. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or give them a call, 751-9070.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer in Johnson County, Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling. Now, when you hear heating and cooling companies advertising a free furnace or air conditioner, do you believe them? You're best to follow your gut on those sketchy claims. If you want an honest quote with honest pricing, call the team at Marshall Mechanical. Just go to callthemarshallnow.com. Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling is your American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer in Johnson County.
Hey, Mom. Hi, honey. Mom, I'm glad you figured out the video call. What's all that noise? Is it your connection?
No, just doing a few things to the house. Your room will soon be a fitness studio.
My room? What? Well, what's that noise? Is that your Wi-Fi?
Oh, that. Your father's taken up the electric guitar. We're remodeling the basement for his jam sessions.
Jam sessions? Mom, are you guys okay? That's a lot of changes.
I'm just making some upgrades, and it's the home equity line of credit from Lake City Bank. The low fixed rate is helping us get things checked off our list. Oh, hon, gotta go. The hot tub is here.
The what? Mom?
Use Lake City Bank's home equity line of credit for anything from remodels to guitar lessons. Learn more at lakecitybank.com. Call 888-522-2265 or visit a branch near you. Subject to credit approval and equal housing lender.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
You people disgust me.
Hammer and Nigel. Hello. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Tales from the Track, presented by Relay Indiana. Tickets, Hammer, are on sale now.
Now, for those who don't know what Tales from the Track is, this is an annual event that Nigel and I do. It's in the lobby here at the radio station building down here on Monument Circle, and we bring up a driver. In the past, we've done Dario Franchitti, Tony Kanaan. It's a lot of fun. And they're on stage with us. They're talking shop, and there's food. There's a bar. We have prize giveaways. It's a really good time.
And you'll get to meet Ed and get a photograph with him.
Ed Carpenter is the driver we're doing it with this year. And after the event, he takes pictures with everybody, signs stuff, and we take questions from the crowd.
Yeah, we sit there and BS with him on stage for about, half hour, 40 minutes, and take questions from the crowd, and then everybody lines up for pictures.
Right.
It's a fun night. Before that, lots of food, drinks.
And it's the Monday before the race. So Monday, May 22nd, 6 to 8 p.m. So if you are an Indy 500 fan, or if you know somebody who's an Indy 500 fan, get your tickets now, because every single year we have done this event, it has sold out. We've done Bobby Unser, Mario Andretti. We mentioned Dario, Tony Kanaan. This year, hometown hero Ed Carpenter's going to hang out with us, and Ed's a good dude, man. This is really going to be fun. So get your tickets now. You can go to WIBC.com. We've also got the link put up at the Hammer and Nigel Show, Facebook and Twitter. Tickets are $75 each, but that comes with an awesome meal, and you get to hang out with Ed, hang out with us, prize giveaways. It's a really good time, and it will sell out. WIBC.com or the Hammer and Nigel Show, social media, Tales from the Track, presented by Relay Indiana. Axios has a story out that says Tucker Carlson, quote, ready to torch Fox News.
This is going to get good. We need to get him back on the air as soon as possible.
So according to this Axios story, Tucker is getting his allies all lined up. And it kind of feels like Megyn Kelly is one of those allies. She's been going out on her Sirius satellite show, just flaming Fox. But is lining up all of his allies and his attorneys to start fighting back against Fox, because he feels like they're the ones putting out all those videos that are, quote, being leaked to other media outlets to make him look like he was the wrong person for the job.
Fox did send out a cease and desist to Media Matters to stop doing that, but
after they sent them the videos.
Who knows what's really going on there?
Brian Friedman, he's a big Hollywood attorney. Tucker Carlson has signed him to his legal team. He put out a statement to Axios, quote, the idea that anyone is going to silence Tucker Carlson and prevent him from speaking to his audience is beyond preposterous.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, Tucker Carlson seems to kind of have a sense of humor about his firing. He was giving a speech Thursday night, Oxford, Alabama. And he gets up to the podium there. He goes, I'm probably the first unemployed person you've ever invited to speak. He goes, it's funny, I rarely give speeches because I'm working, and when I accepted this speech 6 months ago, I didn't realize how much free time I'd have. No one ever does. So he's still out and about. He's getting in front of people. He hasn't done any more videos from his studio, like the one that he put out, a day or two after his firing.
Kind of feels like he did that just to see what the response would be. And the response was overwhelming.
Well,
so
the ratings for Fox News aren't very well as a whole. That network as a whole, the ratings have gone down like 40%.
The Axios story goes on to say that Tucker's still weighing his options about either jumping ship to another company or starting his own media company to compete with Fox News. But he has to get out of his contract at Fox, and that's where the lawyer comes in to see if they can free him up before the 24 election.
Could you imagine being paid $60 million not to talk for 3 years?
Our boss, David Wood, if you're listening, we're more than happy to go away for the low, low price of $60 million. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and
The good old days are being made right now.
Have you noticed that most ice creams now come in smaller cartons? Not Bluebell. We're still making a full half-gallon and a full pint of tasty goodness. Bluebell wouldn't have it any other way.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at select Kroger stores.
We've all dealt with a contractor who doesn't make you a priority. At Indy Decorative Concrete, we are invested in each of our customers and strive to make the project effortless from start to finish. Indy Decorative Concrete. Big enough to service, but small enough to care.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Not in the clear yet. Sunny 76 on Monument Circle. Radar is clear, but some storms could be here later tonight. Low of 53 as well. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. Severe weather is possible for most of central and southern Indiana today.
By the time we get into the afternoon, we may have some development that would occur back to the northwest and some more isolated scattered thunderstorms that would be more intense that would come through central Indiana during the afternoon and evening hours.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says flooding, hail, and damaging winds are all in play. An employee at a Dollar General in Lawrence was shot this afternoon. Police say it happened at the store off Pendleton Pike just before 1:30 p.m. The woman shot is in critical condition. Investigators say the suspect was likely someone the woman knew. The governor of Arizona is worried about the end of Title 42 this week.
I'm afraid the federal government is unprepared to meet the demands of the expected influx.
Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs says the challenges faced by border agents will likely only get worse. U.S. Ambassador to China Nicholas Burns met with China's foreign ministry today. State Department spokesperson Vedant Patel says the meeting was just to establish communication.
Maintaining open lines of communication with the PRC has been a key tenet of our approach as it relates to this very complicated bilateral relationship.
It's the first meeting since that Chinese spy balloon was seen flying over the country. Chinese officials have also said they're not happy with members of U.S. Congress meeting government officials in Taiwan. Giving the cops a fake name is one reason why a woman from Evansville was arrested. Kurt Darling reports.
Jennifer Hamlet was wanted on a felony warrant. Police were able to track her down along Kentucky Avenue in Evansville Saturday thanks to a tip. Well, as they approached her, they asked her what her name was, and she replied Stacy Smith. Not buying the fake name, the officers confirmed that she was in fact Hamlet and arrested her. They also found meth, fentanyl, and morphine on her at the time. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33. And with traffic at 3:33, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, looking at northbound 69 in Fishers, all lanes closed. This is a crash, and northbound 69 shut down right now. Get out at State Road 37. That is the best place to go if you want to avoid this delay. We're stopped from Brook School Road for about 2 miles right now because of this crash. Again, northbound 69 closed north of State Road 37. Southbound 65, 70 downtown. It is a crash at Michigan Street, blocking 2 right lanes. Traffic stop into the north split, slowing down both inbound 65 and 70. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see their great selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and Napoleon grills, along with the Big Green Egg. I'm Matt Baer. Traffic on the 5s on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast for the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
An isolated strong storm chance in place early tonight. Low temperature of 56 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies to start. A partly cloudy afternoon. High temperature of 73 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the gun guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Relford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
Hammer and Nigel show.
Yeah, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. The gun guy, Guy Relford, live in studio. How are you?
Man, I'm great, and thanks as always to our sponsor, Fort Liberty Firearms in Avon, 8401 East Highway 36. Great place to buy firearms, ammunition, or accessories, and check out their new safe room where they're selling quality American-made safes. Check out my buddies at the Fort at FortLibertyFirearms.com.
Okay, so you're a Second Amendment attorney. You're a licensed firearms instructor. Tell me what you think about this headline in the Indy Star. Indiana Appeals Court set precedent for Glock switch cases. The Indiana Court of Appeals ruled today that an Indianapolis man accused of having a Glock switch attached to his handgun was in possession of a machine gun.
Yeah.
Kind of just take us through, what all this means. What is a Glock switch? What does this ruling mean?
Yeah.
Ryan Mears said he's showing up more frequent. These Glock switches are showing up more frequently at crime scenes.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that is true. I mean, I talked to IMPD guys. I know because I've had people call me and said I've been arrested, because of one of these offenses. But what it is, we talk about a Glock switch. What you're talking about is a little device. It's a really simple device. In fact, now people are starting to make them on digital printers, and 3D printers. And it's a device where you install it in a semi-automatic firearm. Semi-automatic firearm is you pull the trigger, you get one shot. You can install one of these switches into a semi-automatic firearm. It's not unique to Glock. You can do this with most semi-automatic guns. It's particularly easy to do with a Glock, and that's why there are a lot of them. But you can install this device into a semi-automatic gun. Now it's a machine gun because you hold the trigger back and it just keeps shooting. Right? So it's a pistol. Now it's an automatic pistol. Now it's a machine gun. And it's illegal unless you've registered your machine gun under the National Firearms Act. So what this is about, and let me just tell you, the fact that if anybody's going, egads, like the Indy Star did, precedent, now we know what the law is. We always knew what the law was in this area. It was never a guess. In fact, I got into some kind of a Twitter war with the idiot. I don't know if he was at Indy Star or who he was.
You're going to have to be more specific because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I know. But he was saying something like, well, there's this huge ambiguity in Indiana law about whether a gun with a Glock switch in it, whether it converts it to a machine gun. And so we don't know. And we need to clarify the law. And I went, no, it doesn't matter how you modify a gun. If you modify the gun so that when you hold the trigger back, you get more than one shot, it's a machine gun, you go to jail. That's where the law has always been. And that's all the Court of Appeals decision said today. Because this was a Glock switch that was installed in the gun, making it a machine gun. And his lawyer came up with this ridiculous argument. And again, he's trying to protect, a gun owner. But it was a ridiculous argument that I would never make because he said, well, the statute says if you make it a machine gun, in other words, you convert it so it fires more than one shot per trigger pull, it's a machine gun. But it doesn't say if you convert it with a Glock switch or with this particular device. So it's, the guy's not guilty. And I looked at it and I go, well, it doesn't matter how you convert it. If you make it a machine gun, it's a machine gun. And that's all the Court of Appeals said today. In fact, that's a quote in the Indy Star article, Nigel, that you forwarded me. It said, well, it's a machine gun, it's a machine gun. If you pull the trigger back and it fires more than one shot, it is. So this is no big deal. However, it points out another issue, and it's related to another issue that the legislature addressed this year, which is possession of the gun that's been converted with one of these switches is a machine gun. It's illegal. That's no question about that. It's illegal under Indiana law. It's illegal under federal law. But the separate question was if you just had the switch. In other words, let's say I'm a gang member and I've got a pocket full of these switches and I'm selling them to my fellow gang members to install in their guns to make their guns machine guns. There was a question in Indiana law whether just the switch that hadn't been installed yet was illegal. Clearly illegal under federal law, but there was an ambiguity in Indiana law on that point. That's all the legislature this year addressed to say, wait a minute, they're illegal under federal law. Let's make them illegal under Indiana law too, and so they did. And
that's the House Bill 1365 that Holcomb signed in April. Right, so it expanded the state's definition of what a machine gun is.
Right, and I had people all hysterical, contacting me on social media or emailing me, going, "Oh my God, Indiana just banned all machine guns." No, they didn't. If you have a registered machine gun, Under the National Firearms Act in 1934, it was legal before, it's legal now. Indiana just made illegal what federal law had already made illegal, which is a device whose only purpose is to make a semi-automatic gun a machine gun. So we made the machine gun illegal. It was already illegal, but we made the device that makes it a machine gun illegal too, which was already federal law. So we just lined up with federal law.
It's Monday Gun Day with Guy Relford here on the Hammer and Nigel show. So we were talking earlier about the crime that's happening not only in Indianapolis, but some of the surrounding areas now. It was a rough weekend in Broad Ripple. So we were texting over the weekend, Guy. I think now would be a good time to kind of reset what people can legally do in situations where they think a crime is being committed here. So I'm going to throw a couple scenarios out there, and you briefly remind our audience what they can and can't do, okay?
You bet.
Let's start with a home invasion, somebody breaking into somebody's house.
Well, we have the castle doctrine. The castle doctrine allows you to defend your home. It actually is broader than that, but it certainly includes your home. It allows you to prevent or terminate an unlawful entry into your home with reasonable force, including deadly force. So it has to be an unlawful entry, right? So if it's your roommate whose name's on the lease, it's your spouse, that doesn't count. But if it's an unlawful entry into your home, you can prevent or terminate that unlawful entry with reasonable force, including deadly force, under Indiana law.
So specifically, like in Broad Ripple this past weekend, let's say you, Guy Relford, and your friends, you're leaving one of the bars, you're walking down Broad Ripple Avenue or Guilford or wherever, and big gunfire breaks out. Bullets may even be whizzing by your head. What do you do then?
Well, first place, I'm looking for cover.
Yeah,
right.
run like hell.
First, gunshots. First thought. This is how law enforcement's trained. How the military trained. Seek cover. So you want to get to a safe spot. You then want to assess what's going on in terms of the rules that apply to you outside the home when you're out in public. You can use reasonable force, including deadly force, to prevent serious bodily injury to you or a third person, or to prevent the commission of a forcible felony. That's a felony committed through the use or threat of force. So there's a mass shooting going on. Guys walking down the street, killing innocent human beings. That's the Greenwood Park Mall scenario.
Right.
Can I shoot a bad guy, even though he's not even shooting at me? Maybe he hasn't even seen me.
Maybe it's gang members shooting at each other.
Well, there you go. And again, I always tell people, and I teach this in my classes, if you're not involved in a situation already, before you get involved, particularly get involved with a gun or get involved with deadly force, be really, really sure that you're seeing what you think you're seeing. In other words, do you know who the good guys are here? Do you know who the bad guys are? Are you protecting an innocent life? Are you interjecting yourself into a situation you really just ought to stay out of? But like Greenwood Park Mall, it's a bad guy, clearly a bad guy, killing innocent human beings. Can you defend third parties in addition to yourself against serious bodily injury with deadly force? Indiana says yes.
What about somebody that owns a bar in Broad Ripple? They own Rock Lobster or Land Sharks or one of those popular nightclubs where there's a lot of people. What can they do when they see somebody committing heinous acts either outside of their facility or shooting into their facility?
Well, again, you want to make sure what you think you're seeing is what you're really seeing, but you can use deadly force to prevent serious bodily injury to you or a third person or the commission of a forcible felony. Again, when people react too quickly to say, the gun's coming out, I'm going to start squeezing off rounds, a lot of times that ends badly. Innocent people get hurt because it's not a safe shot. And that's something you always got to consider, especially in a crowded, urban or whether it's Broad Ripple or other occupied area. You got to think: do I have a legal shot? Separately, do I have a safe shot? Unless the answer to both those questions is unequivocally no, the gun ought to stay in the holster. But yeah, you can defend your life. You can defend other innocent lives against either that serious bodily injury or a forcible felony. But man, I always tell people, when in doubt, just make sure you're safe, make sure their innocent people are safe, but the gun ought to stay in the holster unless you're 1,000% sure that you can defend innocent lives with safe shots.
Right. Last one here, carjacking situation.
Yeah. Well, I always say it when I teach my gun law class, coming up this Thursday, by the way. When I teach my gun law class, I always say three things. I always say the same thing about carjacking, which is if I was a professional carjacker, I would not choose Indiana, because a carjacking is a forcible felony. So, and I can use deadly force to prevent a forcible felony. So, and carjacking, by the way, is not just stealing my car.
No, there's a difference there.
Oh, huge difference. If I'm just, and this happened, down here on Southeastern, some guy just hops in a guy's running car at a gas station, he's stealing the car.
Right. You see that a lot in the wintertime. Somebody goes out to warm up their car in the morning or before they leave for work, and somebody just jumps in.
Right. Car's empty. The guy doesn't walk up to you in your car, point a gun in your face, and give me the car. That's a carjacking. If he just gets in your running car, you're not in the car, nobody else is in the car, and he's just stealing your car, that's not a forcible felony. That's just theft. You can't shoot him. That's why the guy's going to jail who shot the guy stealing his car down at Southeastern and Emerson.
But unless there's a baby in the back.
Yeah, well, I said car's empty, different.
Yeah,
Baby's in the back, now it's kidnapping. That's a forcible felony. My grandkid's in the back, guy stealing the car, he's getting shot. A lot. and so
we need to make T-shirts that say that he's going to get shot a lot. Guy Relford.
And but say a true carjacking, which means I'm in my car and someone's stealing my car through the use or threat of force. They show me a weapon, get out of the car, I'm taking your car. I can prevent a forcible felony. If they point a gun at me or other weapon, I probably fear serious bodily injury, so I can use deadly force in that scenario. And get this, our castle doctrine in Indiana, which says you can defend your home, actually extends to your occupied motor vehicle. So if it's it has to be your vehicle, but your occupied motor vehicle, you can use deadly force to either prevent or terminate an unlawful entry into or attack upon your occupied motor vehicle. So I have three separate justifications for shooting a carjacker. Now, having said that, if some guy's walking toward my car and he's just got like a tire iron or a baseball bat, he's going, he's drunk, give me that car, man. What am I doing? I'm leaving. I'm not going to shoot the guy, right?
It's so much easier to run over him, Guy. Joking, I'm kidding.
Look, I mean, in all seriousness, I defend people, multiple. I've defended 6 people now who have taken a human life justifiably, legally, and every single one of them will tell you it was the worst day of their lives and they wish it never happened. So, I mean, a lot on the internet, everybody wants to be tough guy. But I always say I'll avoid it if I can. Legally, however, he's carjacking me, I can shoot him.
So I want you to stick around for one more segment if you can. I want to play you a piece of audio when we come back that's got liberal tears coming out of people's eyes. There's a former U.S. Marshal that went on Fox this past weekend and had thoughts about that shooting that took place in Texas. Okay. I want to play you that audio and get your reaction. We'll do that coming up in just a moment. It's Monday Gun Day. Guy Relford here on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
At Peterman Brothers, no matter what we do,
from routine maintenance to new installation,
we are dedicated to providing only the highest quality service and best value to our customers.
Our professional and friendly techs receive top-of-the-line training,
so they're ready to service any need, with truck stock to provide most solutions the same day.
And if you're in need of a new HVAC system, we can install it the next day, guaranteed.
So for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule an appointment in seconds.
Hi there, we're almost to dance. Only a couple of minutes late. You guys at baseball yet?
Not yet. Someone forgot their cleats.
I thought I had them, Mom.
Which makes no sense because you're barefoot. Hey, babe, can you handle the AC thing? It was super hot in the kids' rooms this afternoon.
On it. I know just who to call.
At Mr. Quick, we will keep your AC system running smoothly all summer. Call Mr. Quick today for your $89 AC pit stop.
Call Mr. Quick for on time.
Your Mother's Day shopping has been made easy. All you have to do is go to PA Jewelers in Brownsburg, 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg. With truly unbeatable prices, 70% less than competitors. Simple pieces to extravagant jewelry, a huge selection including designer and vintage pieces, and unique offerings from 5 different local jewelry artists. More than a kiss, PA Jewelers inside Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg, 317-858-3030, 858-3030.
If your leaky chimney is at it again, there's only one place to call. That's Chimney Solutions. Chimney Solutions has over 20 years of experience inspecting, sweeping, and troubleshooting chimney systems. From repairing your masonry to waterproofing to chimney caps, they handle it all with craftsmanship guarantees. The Chimney Solutions team is Chimney Safety Institute of America certified and members of the National Chimney Sweep Guild. Call Chimney Solutions today at 317-757-6979. Online at chimneyindy.com. That's Chimney Solutions.
Newsmax is conducting an urgent poll asking if it was right for Fox News to fire Tucker. Do you want Tucker back on TV? Let us know what you think. Vote in the Newsmax poll. Just text us now. Text the word RESPOND to 39747. That's RESPOND to 39747. Let your voice be heard. Text RESPOND to 39747. Millions made the switch to Newsmax. You can too. Texting enrolls for automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
I had changed the locks, didn't even know where she was living. And then one night she calls to say she's getting treatment. Can I drive? I almost hung up. But then I thought, that's my kid. I chose to put away the hurt and the fear and just see my girl.
Addiction is a disease. Standing by a loved one as they fight it will test your faith, patience, and sanity. But it's possible when you see the person, not just their disease. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
Got an emergency on the weekend? We're here for you at B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains.
Just go to bplusw.com. B&W is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
What if the next time you painted your home was the last time you painted your home?
Our home has had Rhino Shield for 10 years.
Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more.
Matt Bayer's got to look at the roads.
Northbound 69 has reopened, so the crash is just shy of Brook School Road between 37 and Campus Parkway. Right lane is blocked right now, and traffic is stopped back to State Road 37. That's a crash messing up downtown. Southbound 6570 at Michigan Street. Two right lanes blocked. Traffic stopped into the north split. And inbound 70, inbound 65, both taking a hit off that. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see their great selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, Napoleon grills, along with the Big Green Egg. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center here at 93 WIBC. Monday Gun Day, Guy Relford with us. So, Guy, there was a mass shooting in Texas this past weekend. A lot of crazy stuff happening in Texas this weekend. And the coverage on Fox News was interesting. They had a guy on named Alex Cocker. He is a former U.S. Marshal, and take a listen to this statement that he read, and I want to find out if you agree or not.
And just like General Mathis once said, be polite, be professional, but have a plan to kill everyone you meet, because you never know. If you're at your workplace, your business workplace, something you might say could possibly cause someone to snap because they've had a very bad day. You don't know what kind of day someone's had.
Now, he makes that statement. Next thing you know, Twitter's blowing up. Expert on Fox News says his solution for gun problems is to have a plan to kill everyone you know. Your thoughts?
Well, he's actually plagiarizing a great quote. I had not heard that, by the way. I'm glad you guys played it for me. He's plagiarizing a great quote from General Mad Dog Mattis. Remember that guy?
Well, he gave him credit for it. Yeah.
Oh, he did. I'm sorry, I missed that part. But he left parts out. He basically what Mad Dog said was love everyone, respect everyone, but have a plan for everyone, or to have a plan to kill everyone you meet. And all he's saying there is keep your head on a swivel. Doesn't mean you're a jerk. Doesn't mean you're mean to people. Doesn't mean you're aggressive. But you're keeping your head on a swivel. You're ready, prepared. You have the mindset to defend yourself, your loved ones, if necessary. And that makes all the sense in the world. And
people were losing their minds over that, though. Like, Keith Olbermann and all these folks that, are...
Oh, wait, hold on. Keith Olbermann? Oh, no. Oh, he's upset? Oh, I'm so heartbroken.
I come in with a plan every day that I'm probably going to wind up killing Hammer at some point. But no, kidding.
I mean, it's a in my mind, it's an entertaining way, and it may be a little bit over the top way of simply saying you're prepared, you're vigilant, and you're paying attention. Right? Because self-awareness, what we call situational awareness, is the key to self-defense. That's all he's really talking about. But I'm sure the liberals' minds exploded.
Where can people find you?
RelfordLaw.com or man on Twitter. I'm trying to build my Twitter following at Guy Relford.
Guy, you're the best. Thanks, you.
Buddy. Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Selling your house in a matter of days? Pretty dreamy, right? Kind of like a pothole-free Indianapolis. Now, the selling your home in days part is very real with Open Door. They make the home selling process easy, stress-free. Matt Bear here. Hi. With Open Door, sell your house all in one move and move on from listings, forever negotiations, and unexpected showings. Like, surprise, there's a potential buyer in your bathroom. Yeah, that was the best. When you sell directly to Open Door, you stay clear of the dreaded double move or paying rent on one place and mortgage on the old place at the same time. That almost broke me when I was moving to Indy, but I didn't have Open Door. You take control of your move, making any time the perfect time to sell your home. Request an all-cash offer anywhere on any device. Visit opendoor.com or download the Open Door app to get started. That's opendoor.com or download the Open Door app. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Incorporated, license 020611130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage LLC and its other markets. Terms and conditions
Here's
apply.
what Low T Center does. Low T Center exclusively specializes in men's wellness. They check all your levels. And I'm not just talking about testosterone. You got a lot of people talking about testosterone. Do your homework. Be sure to go to somewhere that you can trust, and we recommend the Low T Center. And they determine the cause of any symptoms you're having and whether you're a candidate for low T or something else like low thyroid or maybe even sleep apnea.
At the Low T Center, their annual health assessment is completely covered by health insurance, and they check everything, including your prostate levels, thyroid issues, liver and kidney functions, cholesterol, glucose, and more. And worst case scenario, you don't have insurance, it's less than $100 cash pay. So get that appointment set up today. Go to lowtcenter.com. Book that appointment now. lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Do you have a wet basement problem? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, Indy's most trusted basement waterproofer. Your basement is a very important part of your home. Whether it's finished or unfinished, there's nothing worse than a wet, unusable basement. Swanco's basement waterproofing will fix your wet, unusable basement permanently and forever. Protect your greatest asset, your home, by waterproofing your basement today. Call the real, local, family-owned waterproofing experts at Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, 317-407-1868 or swancollc.com.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and here's a question. Is your water system ready for summer? If not, then C&J's Water Softener Trade-In promotion is just what you need. Trade in that old softener and get up to $500 towards a new one. Hard water can cause all sorts of problems, from dry skin and hair to clogged pipes and water stains. C&J's Water Softeners help prevent all these issues and ensure your water system is running smoothly. Don't wait. Call C&J for the $500 trade-in and upgrade your water softener today. Call 317-733-SOFT or cnjwater.com.
People everywhere are binge-watching their money. Now streaming on Lake City Bank Digital, when checking Met Savings.
Together we make so much sense.
Also featuring Adventures of the Penny Pincher.
My journey has not been an easy one, but my budget is going to survive.
Watch new episodes of Your Money unfold every day on Lake City Bank Digital. Learn more at lakecitybank.com/digital. Member FDIC.
That's Faber's being window. Trust me.
Are you thinking about your next home improvement project, but you need more than a window replacement? Whether it's siding, entry doors, or maybe a bath or shower remodel, design it before you buy it. That's right. B's using the latest in technology to create an architectural design so you can see our products on your house before you purchase. For a limited time, receive 50% off all products, plus special manufacturer rebates and 20 months no interest, no payments.
Trust me.
Stable stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Stable store.
Coming up in 2 minutes, there are chances for severe weather in Indiana later today. An employee at a Dollar General in Lawrence was shot, and why state conservation officers are investigating a hunting accident. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
The president's hoping to change the speaker's mind. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The White House just confirming the timing of a meeting with top congressional leaders on the debt limit, set for 24 hours from now in the Oval Office. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy still pushing for spending cuts.
So we'll have that debate, right? He's happy to have that debate. But when it comes to the debt ceiling, when it comes to the debt limit, they got to do their job.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says the president still wants the debt limit raised without conditions, with a separate process for the budget, and thinks he can convince McCarthy to change his position. The White House also accusing Republicans of playing politics with immigration instead of passing solutions, while the administration claims it has a robust multi-agency plan to deal with the end of a pandemic-era limit on asylum seekers. That's expected to lead to a new surge later this week.
This falls on the president. This is absolute dereliction of duty, but it also falls on the feet of Congress.
Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley says they've all known that Title 42 was ending. New regulations would require more compensation over flight disruptions.
If it's the weather, we're out of luck on a canceled or delayed flight. But if an airline causes a cancellation or delay via a tech or maintenance issue or lack of crew, it would be on carriers to cover rebooking, meals, hotels, and transportation.
Our top priority has been to get American air travelers a better deal.
President Biden announcing the proposal amid criticism over widespread flight disruptions last summer, as well as technology outage cancellations.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. A mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow down 55 points at the closing bell. It had been down more than 100 at one point during the session, though. The S&P and the NASDAQ finishing higher. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
There could be more storms, 78 degrees, sunny with nothing on radar for now. Chances for rain tonight as that low drops into the 50s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. There could be some severe weather tonight.
It looks like probably somewhere in the mid to late afternoon time frame would be the greatest chance for those thunderstorms to really gain some intensity and produce some severe weather.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. He's most concerned about strong winds, hail, possibly flooding, especially in central and southern parts of the state. An employee at a Dollar General in Lawrence was shot this afternoon. Police say it happened at the store off Pendleton Pike around 1:30. The woman shot is in critical condition. Police believe their suspect was someone the woman knew. They've not been ID'd yet. State conservation officers are investigating after 2 hunters were hurt over the weekend in a hunting accident at Morgan Monroe State Forest. A man from Fishers was turkey hunting, and he mistook 2 other hunters as something else, and he shot them. Those 2 men, one from Indy, the other from Danville, are expected to be okay. An Indy hotel project has a new backer. Jaden Arnold reports with the latest development.
You may have already known that a new 40-story hotel called the Signia by Hilton is being built on the Pan Am Plaza site. But now the city is footing the bill, spending at least $510 million. The Kite Realty Group Trust couldn't get the money they needed for the project, according to Gary Dick from Inside Indiana Business.
Kite Realty says it can't do the deal. It can't put a deal together in this rising interest rate environment. And so the city believes that it is important enough to step in.
Dick on WIBC's Tony Katz. The hotel is set to be completed by 2026. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The first preseason game didn't go the Indiana Fever's way as they fell to the Chicago Sky Sunday after losing by more than 20 points.
They scored 27 points in that second quarter, and there was a point where I felt like we just kind of threw the towel in early, and that is not who we are. That is not our DNA.
Fever head coach Christy Sides. They'll try to bounce back against the Dallas Wings Saturday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Live life to the fullest. You hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain, right? Tony Katz here, and QC Kinetics is in the business of giving people back their quality of life and not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible, utilizing regenerative restorative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. So where is your joint pain? Your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your back? QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them the most. No surgery, no downtime, and patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Finally be able to play golf, hike, walk your dog, enjoy time with your family. Whatever it is, don't wait one more day. Get started today with a call to QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation. QC Kinetics is in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel. So call 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05. How's it going, Matt Bear?
It is bad up in Fishers, Noblesville right now. Harrison crashed northbound 69 at Brooks School Road, and that's going to be shy of Campus Parkway. And right now the right lane is blocked. So many cars, so many emergency vehicles involved here, and traffic stop past State Road 37, almost to 106th Street now. It's a bad delay in those northbound lanes. Southbound 6570 crash, Michigan Street, and that's blocking two right lanes with traffic slow to the north split. Inbound 70, southbound 65, both backed up because of that crash. Traffic sponsored by Speedway. Speedway is here for you. Hot coffee is fresh or it's free. Offer good through 12/31/23. Visit participating store where coffee was purchased for details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
An isolated strong storm chance in place early tonight. Low temperature of 56 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies to start. A partly cloudy afternoon. High temperature of 73 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. New poll from the Washington Post says old presidential poopy pants is facing negative ratings at the start of his campaign. Bad numbers for sleepy Joe Biden, Hammer.
Now, I think it's important to make a point of reference here. When we say President Poopy Pants, there was a legitimate story that he took a trip overseas and relieved himself.
Was that near the Pope? When he was standing next to the Pope?
Near the Pope, had a little butt mud going on. And there was another story where he was overseas, and next thing you know, his britches are filled with the old Hershey Highway. So it's not just us being smart Alex. There is a reason why some would call him President Poopy Pants. That being said, Joe Biden's approval ratings are about the same as having poop in your underpants right now. Pretty bad.
How many references to poop and pants did we just make there in the span of 2 minutes?
You see this chair?
Mike Pence?
Mike Pence used to sit in this chair.
Okay.
I don't think he could do that. There's no way Mike Pence could make as many underwear-stained references that we just did in the first 2 minutes of this segment.
Right
no
on.
way. But the Washington Post, of all places, is saying, yeah, this guy may be in trouble in 2024. And I said it before. I'll say it again. If I'm tinfoil hat guy, that's fine. I'm not sold he's going to be the nominee in 2024. There will be something that happens. Health or something else. Indictment, who knows?
I mean, that one poll had 70% of Americans think he's too old to be running. 40% of Democrats think he's too old. Age is the issue there with Joe Biden.
Now, keep in mind, Donald Trump isn't that far away in terms of age, but you look at those two. You could argue policy all you want, but one guy looks way older.
The mental acuity is, you definitely tell a difference. Stark difference.
And that's just how some people are. We talked about this last week. The guy that owns Home Depot, he's really old, but he's still a pretty sharp cat. Roger Penske. He's around the same age as Joe Biden. Look at Roger Penske walking around compared to Joe Biden. One dude still got his fastball, the other one doesn't. And it's kind of a shame that the good doctor, Dr. Jill, is putting her husband through this. That dude does not need to be in public office. And I'm not saying that because I disagree with his policies, although I do. This is a guy that falls down all the time, falls off a bike, falls up the stairs.
Fetterman. Senator of Pennsylvania does not. I mean, if you saw his job performance there a couple of weeks ago when he finally came back after being in a mental health facility for treating, I believe, clinical depression is what he's being treated for. But that guy is not well. He should not have been. He is where he is now mentally because of the DNC and his wife pushing him. After he had that stroke, he should have been resting. There's no way he should have been running. But, hey, they need a Democrat in that Senate seat, don't they?
They tried to make it sound like Fetterman was, still doing his work while he was in hospital. There's no way that guy was doing any work inside the hospital. Did you see him try to read when he came back? It was painful. Like, I don't like John Fetterman. I think he's a lunatic leftist that's dangerous for this country. But even soulless a-holes like myself, you feel bad for the guy because he's clearly not well. He doesn't need to be there. And I think, honestly, the Democrats know this too. I think they're trying to find a reason to get Joe Biden to step down. That's why the Washington Post is running these types of stories here.
Right, but there's the flip side to that coin that's saying, I think Democrats want to prop up Donald Trump in some form because they know that Biden can beat him.
True, I think both things can be true. They want Donald Trump to be the nominee. Yes. There's no doubt. Because there's a lot of people that don't like Donald Trump. They can beat him in the general. But they also think Biden might not be the guy. If anybody could blow this, it'd be Biden. So in a perfect world, I think the Democrats have a new candidate in 2024 and Donald Trump as the Republican candidate in 2024. If you're a leftist, if you're a lunatic, that's the dream situation right there. Let's turn our attention to what's happening at the border. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
Alejandro!
Says the crisis at the southern border is a regional challenge that needs a regional response. And he admits, even though they've kind of had this on the radar for quite some time, it's going to take quite a while for the Biden plan to start seeing some results.
Sure. We've been preparing for this for more than a year and a half. You are correct. And it is indeed a regional challenge, and it requires a regional response, which is why we are working so closely with many countries to the south. It's going to take our plan a while to really take hold for people to understand that they can access lawful, safe, orderly pathways before they reach the border.
Boy, that guy's a zero. That guy.
I mean, he's the same guy that said the border is not open. It's not been open. It's closed, basically.
So 700,000 people are down there just playing Uno together. They're down there just having a euchre tournament. Maybe they're watching some of the NBA playoff games. That's all they're doing, right?
Hold on. Biden's got the 1,200 troops to get down there to go to the to El Paso for, to help process paperwork. So there's that.
Sure. And Governor Abbott of Texas, I believe he's getting close to kind of taking matters into his own hands. He's been speaking with the National Guardsmen of the state of Texas and some other folks, trying to find out what they could legally do to try to protect their neighborhoods. Because, again, the amount of people that will be flowing into the United States all across that southern border on Thursday when Title 42 goes away, it's going to be wild. We're talking about maybe 700,000 people trying to get into the United States at once. That's a big number.
Why hasn't the governor of Texas done this sooner? Why isn't he doing everything he can to stop this? Screw Joe Biden. Get the National Guard down there. What's going on? He should have acted sooner, in my opinion.
You like to see Abbott be a little tougher down there?
No question.
I think a case could be made for that. Because Abbott has been really good at working with the media, right? When he sends those folks on the buses to various places, there's a press release, there's cameras, everybody knows that. But I think a case could be made, and you're absolutely right, Nige, that he should have been doing more behind the scenes without the press. Meeting with your military, meeting with your local police, trying to figure something out. And maybe he has been, and we just don't know it. But as of right now, it's looking like Thursday will be absolute chaos. Now, speaking of chaos, what they're trying to do in California, I think falls into that category. California Task Force has okayed the reparations plan that could cost Californians $800 billion.
Reparations for who?
Reparations for those whose family members may have been part of slave work and slave activity.
Hold on. California's a free state. There was reparations in a state. Slavery was never legal. Slavery paid for by people who never had or owned slaves, given to people who have never been enslaved.
We're talking about great ancestors, Nige. That's what we're talking about. $800 billion.
I'm saying slavery was never legal in California.
Nigel, stop making sense. You've got to stop making sense in a state ran by Gavin Newsom.
Would biracial people apply to the reparations? How much is everybody getting? Like $360,000?
$360,000. Now, this $800 billion reparation plan, that's 2.5 times the state's annual budget. And we're not talking about New Hampshire or Iowa, the state of California, 2.5 times its annual budget. And yes, you have to be black. You have to have some sort of proof that your ancestors, way back before California was even a state, were involved in slave trade. And then you could get a $360,000 check.
Any other minorities that were oppressed getting a paycheck? Like if you're a Hispanic or Asian or name and ethnicity, any other race you've been oppressed and discriminated against, do you get checks?
Elizabeth Warren, I'm sure tried, and I don't think she's getting anything. So no soup for you. This thing's actually gaining traction. Like there are lawmakers working on this.
What if I identified as black? Could I get a check?
Oh, now that's interesting. Because now you're playing right into the Democrats' wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, sure.
You set the rules. I'm going to show up as a black woman and demand my $360,000. So ridiculous. All right, Matt Baer, what's up?
Eastbound 465 stopped right now from 865 over to Ditch Road because of a crash. There is a car off the right shoulder. Police are out. Inbound 69 looks good. A little bit slow around 82nd Street, but northbound 69 stopped right now 106th Street up to Brooks School Road because of a crash blocking the right lane. Traffic sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
If you go to the Hammer and Nigel Show Facebook and Twitter, you can do a couple of things. You can buy tickets for Tales for the Track, but you can also see the video of a new gift that we received today. Just in time for Nigel's birthday, which is today.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
Thank you.
Velvet. But
happy birthday, dear Velvet.
We'll have to play a little Joe Biden in your honor later on. But a listener who just goes by Crappy McCrapperton sent us...
McCrapper Pants.
McCrapper something.
Something like that.
Sent us a brand new framed photo. And this one features Joe Biden. So if you want to see the gift that was mailed to Nigel and I today, go to the Hammer and Nigel Show Facebook and Twitter and check that out for yourself. Sunshine, 77 here at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. And we got Is This Anything next.
One of the best things I ever did for my house was getting Window Nation windows installed. They did it within a day, left my house cleaner than it was when they showed up, and it increased the value of my house. Typically, you get brand new energy-efficient Window Nation windows. That'll increase the value of your home by up to $12,000 and save you a bunch of money on your energy bills. Right now, 0% financing for 5 years, and Window Nation is going to give you 2 free windows with every 2 you buy.
If you want this deal, if you want to save the thousands of dollars, then you need to call Window Nation and lock the deal in. 866-90-NATION. That's their phone number. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. And it's any style, and there's no limit. Buy 4, get 4 for free. No interest for 5 years. But like I said, this deal's going to go away, so call and lock it in. They'll answer any questions you have. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com and tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
The Indianapolis Motor Speedway. History, heartbreak, heroes.
4-time winner of
Join Hammer and Nigel May 22nd for Tales from the Track, brought to you by Relay Indiana, with special guest Ed Carpenter. Go beyond the bricks as he talks about his pole wins, becoming an owner, and growing up in the first family of the IMS. Tickets on sale now and include dinner, drinks, and a Q&A with Ed Carpenter. Brought to you by Relay Indiana. For tickets, go to WIBC.com.
Mom, where are the car keys?
She's a juggler of all things. This Mother's Day, celebrate her with fine jewelry from Shane Company. We have gifts in every price range, beautiful jewelry that'll make her smile. Not sure what to get Mom? Our classic styles make a great gift. Surprise her with a diamond necklace, an engravable locket, or lustrous pearls. Why not get her something colorful? We have an amazing selection of jewelry with colorful gemstones, from vibrant London blue topaz to sapphires in every color of the rainbow. Gold hoops are a lot of fun. She can wear them anywhere, to a soccer game or mom's night out. Shane Company's jewelry is designed by us, with attention to every detail, so you can be sure it's beautifully crafted and made to last a lifetime. Visit us for a Mother's Day gift wrapped with a bow and ready to give.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Owning a business comes with pressure. There's a limit to what I can do and still keep employees engaged. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30-plus years of HR experience to work to help me with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance, while giving my employees competitive benefit options. And because I'm able to focus on other priorities, my employees can thrive and my business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
I'm a grandson, a son. I'm an employee and a mentor. I'm a father to 2 beautiful kids and a husband to an amazing wife. And I have a substance use disorder. In other words, I'm living in recovery with an addiction. And now that you know, will you let it change how you see me? It's okay to see my addiction, but I want you to know it's people choosing to see me as a person that changed my life.
See the person, not just their disease. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus next-day energy with melatonin plus extended-release B vitamins.
Today on Hey Culligan Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, Hammer, how to play Is This Anything?
I will run some stories by you. You break down all the information that's been presented, and you tell us if the story in question is anything or not. Is this anything? Some of you guys have seen the dramatic video of a baby stroller that was about to roll into that busy intersection into traffic in Southern California.
Dude, that was intense.
But a good Samaritan ran in out of nowhere and snagged it just in time. The kid's great aunt tried to chase after it but fell down twice.
Yeah.
Security camera got the footage of the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll retweet it right now.
Ronald Nessman is the guy who saved the day. Let's hear from Ronald.
I noticed the stroller was going towards traffic. I instinctively ran towards the stroller and got it before it went into the traffic. She was traumatized. She was crying. She was just in shock.
Okay, I just retweeted it. Yeah, she looked away for just a second. The stroller just started rolling towards a busy intersection, and she goes after it, but she hits she takes a face burner right into the concrete, fell down, couldn't get back up. And this guy was, it turns out he's homeless, and he was there for a job interview at Applebee's. So this guy's a hero. Now here's the update to this. During a media interview, this guy got a call from Applebee's saying that he got the job.
Awesome. Very cool.
Do we have that second? Yeah, baby.
Thank you very much. Well, got the job at Applebee's.
All right.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you, people. I appreciate everything, guys.
That's awesome.
So the guy's a hero, having a rough time, homeless, was trying to do the right thing, filling out an application at Applebee's, saved a baby, and got the job. Yes, that's something.
It's good to have a positive story once in a while.
Thank God. Yeah.
Dateline, New Jersey. Is this anything? A New Jersey woman heading to Florida from Philadelphia accidentally ended up on a flight to Jamaica. And she did not have a passport on her.
Oh, no.
Luckily, the Frontier Airlines crew talked to the authorities, and they allowed her to take another flight back to the United States. Before the flight,
What happened?
she went to the bathroom, and when she got to the boarding gate, they rushed her on the plane, totally unaware her real gate got changed.
Oh, it got changed at the last second.
Take a listen to this.
I laughed. I said, I would love to be going there, but I have a beach where I live. And she said, look at me. This plane is going to Jamaica. You're entering a country without a passport. Should never have happened because I did not have a passport. The woman at the gate did not do her job.
I mean, I love Jamaica. My wife and I went there for our honeymoon. Sandals.
Did you guys smoke?
No, we were offered though, but we stayed on the resort mostly. But yeah, that would be a little unsettling. Wait, I thought I was. I'm going to Florida. No, we're going to Jamaica, and she didn't have a passport. Is that what she said?
Correct.
The airline ended up paying her about $600 for the original ticket. So yeah, don't go to the bathroom 15 minutes before boarding, and keep your earbuds out of your ears so you can hear what the hell's going on.
See, no deal on the bathroom thing. I've made this perfectly clear.
Oh, yeah.
My bathroom behavior when I'm getting ready to get on a flight is that of an 85-year-old man.
Every 10 minutes I try to go, whether I think I do or not.
The last thing I want to do is pee on the plane. I want to spend most of my time drinking, but I don't want to pee.
Yep, I definitely don't want to go number two. I take like 2 Imodiums before I get on a plane, just in case.
Like, I'd almost rather take a number 2 than go number 1, because at least the 2, you're sitting down,
dude. Dude, my buddy Matt had to do number 2 like before they took off, and the stewardess like didn't stop him from going in the bathroom, and they took off with him still in the toilet. Literally, they took off with him still in the toilet doing number 2, and he told me it was like a roller coaster. He was riding a roller coaster in there, just like his hands, sticking out, trying to brace himself.
Like the guy in the movie Airplane that was in there shaving.
Yeah, it's happened before. I'm telling you.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
Hey, who's winning? What? Who's winning? Somebody spinning?
Race fans know the track is loud. For the hard of hearing, this confusion happens every day on the telephone. RelayIndiana.com can help. RelayIndiana.com is a free service that provides telephone access to the hard of hearing, so users have normal phone conversations through relay operators. Relay Indiana also provides free equipment to those who qualify. Enjoy the race and phone conversations. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Keep an eye on the radar. Clear skies for now. 79 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. There could be some rain later with low temps dropping to the lower 50s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 429. Severe weather is possible for most of central and southern Indiana today.
By the time we get into the afternoon, we may have some development that would occur back to the northwest and some more isolated scattered thunderstorms that would be more intense that would come through central Indiana during the afternoon and evening hours.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says flooding, hail, and strong winds are all possible. Radar currently shows those storms could arrive later this afternoon, maybe into the evening. A disaster relief center has opened in Monroe County. Donnie Burgess reports.
The Steinsville Relief Center is about a half-hour drive northeast of Bloomington. It's open through Wednesday and will reopen May 18th for anyone who missed the first go-around. If you need help applying for a FEMA application or just need to ask a question, this would be the time to do so. Several more recovery centers are either open or will open in the counties hit hardest by the tornadoes earlier this spring. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A woman is in critical condition after she was shot at a Dollar General off Pendleton Pike in Lawrence this afternoon. Police say that woman worked there. They believe the suspect knew her too. The suspect has not been ID'd by police. They're still investigating. Lawmakers in Texas are voting on gun legislation. A bill that would raise the age to buy an assault weapon passed out of committee with a vote of 8-5, with 2 Republicans voting in favor. That legislation will now head to the House floor for debate. President Biden says he wants airlines to better compensate passengers when flights are delayed or canceled for reasons other than weather.
If your flight is very delayed or canceled, and the airline could have prevented that from, you deserve more than just getting the price of your ticket. You deserve to be fully compensated.
The Department of Transportation will propose a new rule that would require airlines to provide customers with vouchers, miles, or even cash refunds when flights are canceled or delayed by something within the airline's control. Your stock report, the Dow dropped 55 points today to 33,618. The NASDAQ up by 21 to 12,256. The S&P 500 up by just over a point to 4,138 on your Monday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:31.
Your neighbor Mark loves spring in Indy, but he hates to paint. So he called Rhino Shield.
It's a 2-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic at 4:32, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison, it is a crash on eastbound 465 before Ditch Road. And right now it's on the shoulder vehicle in the ditch. Traffic stop back to 865. Northbound 465 is stopped from 86 because of it. Northbound 69 Fishers jams up before 116th Street up to Brooks School Road. That's because of a crash in the right lane. Front of the line is moving a lot better. That's a good sign. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden. See their great selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and Napoleon grills, along with the Big Green Egg. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
An isolated strong storm chance in place early tonight. Low temperature of 56 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies to start. A partly cloudy afternoon. High temperature of 73 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, yeah! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Rick Snyder is the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 86 here in Indy. Rick, we were talking earlier. It was a violent weekend in Indianapolis. Not just like the downtown area, but Broad Ripple, seeing a lot of gunfire as well. The FOP put out a statement about the violence. Now, you don't have to read it word for word here, but what was that statement about?
Well, I think the key point is that we just came off of one of the most violent weekends we've had thus far this year. And all the community partners that we work with and engage with, folks in the neighborhoods, no one believes that there's any sign of this violence slowing down as we enter the summer months. Guys, we're on track. We're right now above the average, above the pace that we saw last year, in which we had over 225 homicides. We're above the pace where we had 245 homicides. And we're getting really close to tracking right along with 2021 when we had 271 homicides in the city. Here's the point that we've been making. This would make the fourth year in a row of over 200 homicides. This isn't somehow something that's come about all of a sudden just this year. It's 4 back-to-back years, and it took us 200 years in our city's history to get to that point. Now, I've heard a lot of people, critics, quite frankly, who try to tie this to things and politicize it, like the permitless carry law and things such as that. I got to be honest with you, we've not seen a significant spike since July of last year. We've seen a consistent overall trend for 4 consecutive years. That's high levels of violence before that law change and after that law change. And I think we got to put politics aside and get serious about the basics, which is enforcing the law and restoring order.
Speaking with FOP President Rick Snyder. Hey, Rick, I was talking with you a little bit yesterday, texted you some frustrated business owners that I know there in Broad Ripple, and what happened. There was 2 different shootings on 2 different nights in Broad Ripple, like just down the road from each other. And maybe this is kind of more of a question maybe for like the chief of police or something maybe, but he's wondering why there is not more of a police presence in Broad Ripple, especially after things have been escalating the past 3 years. And what I told him was, you guys are stretched thin. So does that make sense? Does his concern about police presence, more of a police presence in Broad Ripple, resonate with you?
Now, listen, guys, it's a very fair point. This is what I always say. We should be achieving taxpayer expectations. And listen, they want high visibility presence, especially in areas where there have been violent acts that have occurred. And this is no secret in Broad Ripple. Guys, we've warned for 3+ years now. It's coming to a neighborhood near you. We've seen it occurring in Broad Ripple. We had a stabbing attack up by Castleton Mall again over the weekend. We had another person shot down in Fountain Square area. It's surging and spreading to all points in between and throughout this city. We just had a lady that was reportedly shot over in Lawrence just within the last couple of hours. Listen, the issue here is the people behind the guns, the people that are pulling the triggers. You know, I find it ironic that all the people that called for defunding the police were also the people that called for decriminalizing the criminals, deinstitutionalizing mental health resources, and depolicing the police. They're now the ones calling to disarm the public. Listen, those same people are also politicians who hide behind magnetometers. They hide behind reinforced barriers and walls and armed guards, all paid for by the very people they're trying to make less safe. All they have to do as politicians and leaders is get back to basics, enforce the law, restore order, lower crime, and improve quality of life. That's what taxpayers want. As it relates to Broad Ripple, listen, we have extra staffing that occurs up there every Friday and Saturday night. It's called the Broad Ripple Detail. However, I think what they're finding is that after the bars close and after that 3 a.m. hour when the police start to leave the area, those violent offenders backfill that vacuum and play havoc up there. You had recordings of over 90 shots fired in one incident. People shouldn't have to live like prisoners in their own homes or their own businesses.
Rick, you rattled off all of those years with 200+ homicides just a moment ago. The common denominator is that it's been the same mayor here in Indianapolis during the most violent stretch in the history of the city of Indianapolis. Just last week, Joe Hogsett wins the nomination to become the Democratic Party's nominee for the mayor's race this year. He has a press conference. All of the media is there. He's standing on stage doing a victory lap about the crime in this city. A victory lap, talking about how his plan is working and the last 3 years have been this and that. there wasn't a single reporter in that room that pushed back on him at that point. Did you catch any of that, Rick? And if so, what were your thoughts?
Well, in our statement today, we made clear that journalists in Indianapolis have got to begin consistently asking tough questions of city and county officials on behalf of the people. When you have somebody, I just keep saying, where are our leaders? After a weekend like we just saw, first thing Monday morning, if they weren't out in the middle of the night on the incidents, our elected officials should be out there making it clear that they're on top of this and also articulating what the plan is. Not for next year, not for the summer months, for today, for this coming weekend. How can they reinstill confidence of people in Broad Ripple, Castleton, Fountain Square, all these other places in the city? They are not doing that. The answer has to be why. The question that I have, the question has to be why. The question that I have is this: why aren't our journalists asking those tough questions? The closest I've seen as of late was Jesse Wells of Fox 59. And when he asked a tough question of the mayor, quite frankly, became combative with him and rude with him for even daring to ask the question. Well, other journalists should have immediately moved upon that, because therein lies our problem. It isn't that any elected official is above reproach or above being asked tough questions. But, guys, we saw that earlier in the year. When we challenged our court system and our prosecutors, we had people that came out and said, how dare you ask questions or question judges in the judicial system? We've got big problems when that is suddenly not allowed.
And what we've been talking about a lot on this show, and Nigel knows this, we talk about this a lot, Rick, is it's such a soft media city. You look at a city like Chicago. Chicago is as blue, Democrat blue, as anywhere in the country. It was a Democratic mayor. It's probably a Democrat media. But they would still ask the tough questions to Lori Lightfoot. Same thing in Philadelphia, same thing in Atlanta. But here in Indianapolis, all of these TV stations, now I'm not going to say every single person, but pretty much every one of them has had the opportunity to ask Joe Hogsett, where were you the night of the riots? Can you prove where you were at, what condition you were in? Why haven't any of the audio files of that night, those 2 nights, been released to the public? Everybody here in this city wants to be friends. They want to have access. They don't want to ask the tough questions, and that's ridiculous because it happens in every other city.
Well, guys, I think this is the point. I would say this. I think many of your reporters, they want to ask those questions, or they do ask those questions and the coverage doesn't get played. I think your bigger question is more to the level of news directors and those who are picking and choosing what will be played on air and what will not be played on air. But here again, guys, that's the great frustration. I would also suggest that might be why entities such as yours are being rated number 1, because people are looking for other venues to receive their information because they know they're getting canned propaganda from many of the media outlets. I do know, though, that our reporters in Indianapolis can do better. They want to do better. And if they were allowed to truly ask the questions, they would. But again, they have to get to an elected official. They have to find one. I mean, I'm looking at, we need to start creating missing in action and BOLO alerts for just trying to find our elected officials to ask them the questions. Guys, my point is this, and I said it in that statement. When our officers are on these scenes through all hours of the night, we never see the mayor. We never see council leadership. We don't see this prosecutor or any of the judges who help contribute to this revolving door. What we see are grief-stricken mothers, shattered families, and family members who are torn apart. And no one else is out there. And neither are our so-called violence interrupters. So, again, we just go back to the outcomes. What is occurring is not working. We know what does work, and it starts by closing the revolving door and allowing police to get back to the basics in terms of keeping our communities and neighborhoods safe.
First thing you need is more police, though. How is recruiting, Rick?
Hey, so they launched the recruitment efforts just this week for IMPD. Guys, the same thing. I said it in a couple of other interviews here. We're now averaging in our nation an officer being shot in the line of duty every 21 hours. Tell me how many other places you can recruit on that. If you told emergency room doctors, hey, once every 21 hours, one of you is going to be shot, a firefighter, a teacher, a store clerk, whatever the case may be, how many of them would apply for that job? It's tough to get people to do that. And when they see that they're going into an environment when they get very little support and, quite frankly, a lack of a plan for clear objectives and outcomes that we're looking for, it starts to lead one to wonder, why would I do that? And that's what we're up against. More importantly, we're losing more officers than we can bring in. And those officers aren't just leaving the profession. They're going to other agencies and communities who will benefit from their experience and their expertise, because Indianapolis officials shrugged this problem off and continue to allow the city to swirl around the drain.
Rick, last thing here before we let you go. Again, we're chatting with Rick Snyder, President, Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 86 here in Indianapolis. We know a lot of powerful people listen to this radio program, whether they like it or they don't like it. We know for a fact that they listen. What's your response when you get the complaints from people that say, well, Rick Snyder, he just talks a big game, but he offers no solutions? What can be done? If you were in charge of this city, or maybe Joe Hogsett is listening to this show right now, what can be done starting tomorrow to make this a better place to live?
Well, guys, I can tell you this. It's not about wishful thinking or pie in the sky dreaming. It's about actual outcomes and objectives that we have actually walked out. I personally myself have walked out many plans that have been focused on education, prevention, intervention, and community collaboration. And in those projects that we completed within the city of Indianapolis, and you can talk to people in the community like Reverend Harrison, Pastor James Jackson, many others, we saw 30% reductions in violent crime immediately after we took those steps. And involved with that was good collaboration from the very neighborhood residents that we were there to serve. And we also said not only should we see crime come down, but we should also see the intangibles, which will clearly define our success, which are things like children being able to play in their front yards again rather than having to be hid from violent offenders, watching the street merchants who are trafficking narcotics being moved off of the corners because they're being displaced by an officer present, and more importantly than anything else, a criminal justice system and a prosecutor who actually takes it seriously and holds those violent offenders accountable. There are things that can be done. We've walked it out. What you have seen are politicians who have moved away from successful practices that involved the community residents and was a good team approach. So the solutions are there. We've proposed them. We've walked them out, and we know how to do it. It's just a matter of making a clear change in direction from the way that we're currently going.
Rick Snyder, FOP President, Lodge 86. Rick, as always, we appreciate your time, and tell your officers to be safe out there.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
All right. How about we give away some tickets here, Nigel?
To what?
We have got Carb Day tickets.
Oh, wow.
Tickets to qualifications. You get both. Caller number 9 gets to play a fun little game right now. 239-9393. Tickets to Carb Day qualifications are on the line, courtesy of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Caller number 9 plays the game. Good luck.
35%. That's right, 35%. How would you like to get a 35% bonus when you invest your money? If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. And if you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. Hey, it's Kendall and Casey, and this special offer gets even better. You'll also sleep well knowing your money is backed by an A-plus insurance company
that's been in business for 140 years and has $2.5 trillion in assets. Learn more by calling Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
And if you know Rob, you know he doesn't seem to like many people.
But I really do like Bill Demery.
Learn how you could get a 35% bonus by calling 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912.
Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy.
Honey Baked Ham isn't just for the holidays. It's Terry Stacy. Spring is a time for celebrations, graduation parties, bridal showers, and, of course, the 500. So many reasons to get together with family and friends. Let Honey Baked Catering help you celebrate with boxed lunches, sandwich trays, and buffet platters with all the extras. Mention this ad when ordering, and they'll take $10 off your catering order, totaling $100 or more. 2 Central Indiana locations, West 96th Street in Indy, and Greyhound Pass in Carmel.
Morning, hon.
Come on. Remember what we said about personal space?
Don't forget to schedule that AC tune-up like we talked about. It smelled a little funky when we turned it on this morning.
Yep, I'm on it.
I know just who to call.
Mom, he's touching my seat.
Kids, personal space.
At Mr. Quick, we know that life can be hectic, which is why we make staying cool easy. The AC pit stop from Mr. Quick is only $89, and it will keep you comfortable all summer long.
Call Mr. Quick for on time.
I put drugs and drinking ahead of my family. I missed important moments. My wife and kids missed me. My addiction controlled my life, and I had a choice to make. I chose a personalized addiction treatment plan from Landmark Recovery, and my family got me back.
Choose life. Choose Landmark Recovery. Visit landmarkrecovery.com to learn more.
As our loved ones age, ensuring their safety at home becomes a top priority. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joyce House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I'll be right back with some practical things you can do to reduce the possibility of a fall or injury.
At Cardon Senior Living Communities, you'll find our teams share a commitment to enhancing the lifestyle and well-being of the people we serve every day at every stage of life.
Removing tripping hazards such as rugs and floor clutter is one way to prevent or minimize falls around the home. Another is to position grab bars in the restroom and other common areas where your loved one may need some extra support. Contact your local area agency on aging to inquire about low-cost or free installation services. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joyce House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Lots to be worried about when you're a homeowner. I got a driveway that's falling apart right now. What I'm not worried about is my American Standard air conditioner that our friends at B&W Plumbing installed for me last summer.
B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling and Drains, and Speedway. Ask B&W about their Premier Club. Premier Club members get a visit from a B&W rep in the spring and the fall where they check out all your electrical connections, voltage, amps, AC, furnace, your gas pressure on your gas furnace. They check the airflow, and they leave you with extra filters. So if you want to do it yourself, you can do that. Visit bplusw.com. That's the word B, +w.com, or just give them a call, 317-243-3581, 243-3581. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Need a new furnace or air conditioner? Call the professionals from B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains.
Just go to bplusw.com. B&W is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see our great selection of grills. We have Weber, Traeger, the Big Green Egg, and all the accessories.
We've got some tickets to give away, and we will do that right after we check the roads with Matt Baer.
All right, crash on the southeast side, southbound 465 after 74, left lane block, stop back to Washington Street. Crash north side, eastbound 465 between Michigan and Ditch. Right now, the right lane is blocked, and traffic jam back to 865, backing up northbound 465 to 86. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture. Wicker, Berlin Gardens, Spotlight, cast aluminum, teak, and more. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
78 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and it's time to play Former Winner or Famous for Dinner.
And now, time to play Former Winner.
It's a drag race. Marco Andretti, Hornish, who's going to win? At the stripe, it's Hornish wins.
Or famous for dinner.
You do seriously surprise me. Thank you, Chef. You surprise me to how you are.
Former winner or famous for dinner.
Christian was caller number 9. Christian, how you doing?
Hello.
How's it going?
Are you with us, Christian?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Your phone is cutting out pretty bad right now. It sounds like that scene in Wayne's World where he walks up to the donut shop and he's trying to talk into the drive-thru and intentionally his voice cuts out. Christian, I'm going to give you the name of someone. It will either be a former winner or someone famous for dinner. You get 3 out of 5. We're going to give you tickets to the race, tickets to Carb Day and Qualls, okay?
Okay.
Number 1, Emerson Fittipaldi. Former winner or famous for dinner?
Former winner.
Former winner. 1 down, 2 to go. Number 2, Alexander Rossi. Former winner or famous for dinner?
Former winner.
All right.
Boom.
Get this next one.
Come on, Christian.
You're going to get the tickets to Carb Day and Qualls. Former winner or famous for dinner, Chef Boyardee.
I would have to go with famous for dinner.
Carb Day, baby. Who you going to take with you?
Oh, man, we'll have to figure that out. I'll need to take some applications.
Okay.
Well, whoever you take has to drive. Those are the rules. You won the tickets. You're giving somebody a free ticket. They have to drive. That's the way it works.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, stay on the line there, Christian.
See
and
you, buddy.
We'll get all your information. We got tickets all week long to Carb Day and qualifications.
Cool little prize pack.
That is. And once again, Tales from the Track, our event that we're doing here with Ed Carpenter. Tickets on sale right now. Get the information, WIBC.com, Hammer and Nigel Show, social media, Facebook and Twitter. This will sell out. Get your tickets quickly. Coming up next, we're going to talk to a guy that owns a bar in Broad Ripple.
I've given this guy many hundreds of thousands of dollars throughout the course of my career.
The owner of Rock Lobster, Rob, will join us. We'll get his perspective on what's happening in Broad Ripple. Do not go anywhere. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. Go on. Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
This is just your name on a gum wrapper.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through June 21st, new customers can get 200 megabit per second internet on the next generation Xfinity 10G network for just $35 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Helzberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Did His Homework. When it came to Jill's engagement ring, Brady knew exactly what to get.
Okay, so I came up with a design and showed it to all of our friends.
She'll love it.
Then he went to Helzberg. Their incredible selection of high-quality, lab-grown, and natural diamonds made creating that special ring easy. Her reaction?
I love it. Can't wait to tell everybody.
Everybody might know about it.
Be like Brady. Create the ring of your dreams at a Helzberg near you or at Helzberg.com. Ask now about special financing offers.
Newsmax is conducting an urgent poll asking if it was right for Fox News to fire Tucker. Do you want Tucker back on TV? Let us know what you think. Vote in the Newsmax poll. Just text us now. Text the word RESPOND to 39747. That's RESPOND to 39747. Let your voice be heard. Text RESPOND to 39747. Millions made the switch to Newsmax. You can too. Texting enrolls for automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our tractor lineup rated #1 in durability and owner experience, Z Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home select BX Series equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 72 months, plus save up to $800. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
Watch new episodes of Your Money unfold every day on Lake City Bank Digital. Binge watch your budgets, monitor payments, and set savings goals. Learn more at lakecitybank.com/digital. Member FDIC.
I'm attorney Darrell Isaacs, the Hammer. When someone you love is the victim of a wrongful death, it's a terrible tragedy. At Isaacs & Isaacs, we're ready to get your loved one the justice they deserve. There are strict time limits to file a wrongful death claim, so please go to WeWin.com today.
Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy decorative concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, changing the way Indy thinks about concrete.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended-release B vitamins.
Coming up in 2 minutes, John Herrick reports on the chances for severe weather today in Indiana. There was a shooting at a Dollar Tree this afternoon, one woman in critical condition, and the Pacers G League team will be playing in a new arena. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
A new front in the immigration debate. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Rockland County, New York, issuing a statement of emergency over a plan to bus in migrants from New York City, where thousands have been bused from Texas. And Mayor Eric Adams has been appealing for state and federal help.
So far, New York City says it's received more than 60,000 asylum seekers, and the city says this new plan should help with the expected influx following the end of Title 42. Adams says the federal government hasn't helped the city. Now his team says surrounding areas need to do their share.
Fox's CB Cotton, Rockland County Executive Ed Day tells Fox News his county doesn't have the capacity.
I have not-for-profits right now who are livid over what's been going on here because, with all due respect to the mayor, he doesn't know what he's doing. He has no clue what's going on up here in Rockland. He didn't ask. His people didn't ask.
He accuses the New York mayor of making an already bad situation worse for the migrants. A new surge is expected at the southern border beginning Thursday when Title 42, a pandemic-era limit on asylum seekers, ends. Republicans blame the president's policies for the existing surge, while the White House calls on Congress to act and says it's doing everything it can with enforcement, deterrence, and diplomacy. A sexual assault claim against former President Trump will be in the jury's hands tomorrow after closing arguments today.
Author and former advice columnist E. Jean Carroll says former President Trump raped her in the dressing room of a Bergdorf Goodman department store in the 90s. She sued after he dismissed her claim and called her a liar. Jurors heard from Carroll herself that she's still traumatized, but they also heard from 2 other women who said Trump assaulted them as well. An attorney for Carroll, Roberta Kaplan, highlighted their testimony in closing statements as well, saying the former president wants them to believe that everyone but him is lying here.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal, in his closing statement, an attorney for Trump, says Carroll never told police and sued years later for political reasons. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Rain could be in the forecast tonight. Cloudy 78 downtown. Chances for that rain later, with the low dropping down to 53. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Severe weather is possible across Indiana. John Herrick reports.
The highest likelihood for severe storms is this afternoon and evening in central and southern Indiana.
Maybe some large hail, some damaging winds. Can't rule out a tornado in this pattern. It's not the best tornado setup, but certainly it's possible that we could see 1 or 2.
Then after today, Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service says you can expect temperatures to get towards 80 degrees and skies to be mostly clear throughout the week. Then he says there might be some rain again late in the week. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A woman shot at a Dollar Tree this afternoon in Lawrence. Police say it happened at the store off Pendleton Pike around 1:30 p.m. That woman in critical condition. Police believe the suspect knew her. They're still investigating. That suspect has not been identified. An Indy hotel project has a new backer. Jaden Arnold reports.
You may have already known that a new 40-story hotel called the Signia by Hilton is being built on the Pan Am Plaza site. But now the city is footing the bill, spending at least $510 million. The Kite Realty Group Trust couldn't get the money they needed for the project, according to Gary Dick from Inside Indiana Business.
Kite
Realty says it can't do the deal. It can't put a deal together in this rising interest rate environment. And so the city believes that it is important enough to step in.
Dick on WIBC's Tony Katz. The hotel is set to be completed by 2026. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The average price for gas in Indiana today, $3.41 a gallon, according to GasBuddy.com, down 11 cents from where it was a week ago. The Indiana Pacers announcing today their G League team will be moving from Fort Wayne to Noblesville. Instead of playing their games at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum, the Mad Ants will move to a new arena that's going to seat 3,400 people in Hamilton County. That arena will be built at Finch Creek Park. That's about a mile north of Ruoff Music Center. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Basements get a bad rap. Probably because so many of them are wet, leaky, and musty. Thanks to screenwriters, crawl spaces aren't very popular either. Michaelis is putting an end to the horror show. Their time-tested waterproofing systems eliminate and prevent water issues. Damp and moldy becomes clean and healthy. And their French drains, vapor barriers, and encapsulation techniques turn crawl spaces into a Disney set. Yeah, okay, that probably went a bit far. But with over 35 years experience, they have a lot of homeowners enjoying their basements again. Think Michaelis. And think how nice it would be to get rid of foundation cracks, basement leaks, damp smells, and all the nightmares that come with them. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, let's rock. North side, eastbound 465. Crash before Ditch Road. That's blocking the left lane. Traffic stop back to 865. Northbound lane stop from 86. Crash north side, westbound 465 between Meridian and Ditch. Right now, 2 left lanes are blocked, stopping traffic back to Westfield Boulevard. Southbound 31 slow from 106th Street on that exit part. Looking at westbound 465 on the southeast side. Crash after I-74 blocking the left lane. We are stopped past Washington Street, almost to I-70. Traffic sponsored by Mecum Auctions. Mecum Auctions returns to the Indiana State Fairgrounds May 12th to the 20th with 3,000 muscle cars, classics, Corvettes, trucks, and more. Register to bid now at Mecum.com. That's Mecum.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
An isolated strong storm chance in place early tonight. Low temperature of 56 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies to start. A partly cloudy afternoon. High temperature of 73 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Rob Sabatini is the owner of Rock Lobster in Broad Ripple.
Sammo.
How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing today?
We're doing great. So let's talk a little bit about Broad Ripple, because we've been talking a lot on the show today about what seems to be a very violent weekend. You know, we normally talk about Indianapolis with these types of stories, but Broad Ripple over the weekend, lots of gunfire, businesses being shot at, people being shot at, and from the perspective of a business owner, I'm just curious as to what you think is happening in Broad Ripple.
Well, it seems that it's kind of a recurring problem. Anybody that follows the news at all remembers all the violence and things that happened in the summer last year. This is mostly a warm weather, good weather problem in Broad Ripple. We up here kind of pray for rain coming late at night, so it's kind of calms stuff down. But usually you can count on starting about the first warm weekend of the year, you start to see an increased crime element in Broad Ripple, and it just always seems to escalate because there doesn't seem to be any kind of enforcement measures or or anything like that put into place to kind of deter any kind of problems up here.
You know, Rob, I've been going to your establishments for, you and I go back decades now. Spent a lot of money there at the Broad Ripple trifecta.
And we're glad that you did.
It wasn't like that back when I was hitting the bars every night.
No, it wasn't. This started in around. Well, it started really in around 2016. It started to, there were the big shootings in 2014, and then Mayor Ballard and Ryan Vaughn came in and really put a kibosh to it in a hurry. And then it started to show up again in about 2016 and escalate, and then it really hit maximum and started to really be bad when they shut down the street for the pandemic in 2020.
They shut down Broad Ripple Avenue is closed now too and it pushes all the traffic and parking further into the village.
Well, yeah, and one of the problems is that they don't do anything about loitering up here. They don't tell people that they got to get out of the street or whatever. And streets that are vital for people to get around on, the remaining streets, are basically unpassable because crowds just gather in the intersections, and it just gets to be a total chaos up here.
When you say they, Rob, who are you talking about? Law enforcement?
Yeah, law enforcement and just city officials. They just don't seem to want to do anything about any of these problems that could be easily fixed if they would be proactively policing up here rather than reactively policing.
So, Rob, I'll just be a little devil's advocate here because I know that law enforcement is way low on their numbers right now. The morale sucks for those guys. They've got a mayor and a prosecutor that can't wait to point a finger at them whenever they do something wrong. So what would you like to see them do more of that's still within the bounds of the law?
Well, it seems to me like somebody's right to drive on the streets should supersede people's right to stand in the middle of it. For one thing, just simple law enforcement techniques, enforce parking regulations and enforce noise ordinances. And while you have a construction zone, don't let anybody hang out in the construction zone. And basically arrest people. I've seen people dancing on police cars. There's just we were attacked at Rock Lobster basically the first weekend that this opened, and there were basically no police on the street, and we were literally attacked from the street because we closed our doors to the public, and we're closing up for the night, and some people didn't like that, and they attacked our doorman. We had two of my employees were assaulted that night, and they were sitting on the curb in handcuffs after the event was over with, and within 45 minutes they were out of handcuffs and gone.
Have you
charges?
Have you complained or talked to or gotten together with the Broad Ripple Village Association or any of the city county councilor or anything?
Actually, I was the old public safety director of the BRVA and used to chart all the crime up here and have been very vocal. There's probably, on an independent basis, there's probably nobody that I haven't met with up here and complained about the problems and tried to offer suggestions from being up here for 30 years that I knew would work, because I've been involved with this stuff before up here, and actually in 2007 was given a public safety award by the city county council about some of the work I did with public safety up here. But I think their hands are tied. I don't think they can do much. Like I said, it's a totally reactive, and I mean, to a certain degree, it almost seems like, if they can contain the problem in Broad Ripple, they don't have to worry about it anywhere else.
Rob Sabatini is our guest. He's the owner of Rock Lobster in Broad Ripple. Broad Ripple in the news police responding to lots of gunshots, shell casings all over the place. Rob, one of the narratives that you see on social media is that it's a gun problem. It's a gun problem. For you as a business owner in one of the biggest streets, honestly, in the state of Indiana, near Broad Ripple Avenue, do you think this is a gun problem? Is this an age problem? What do you think the main problem is?
Well, like I said, one of the issues is, how are you ever going to fix a problem that you're not allowed to talk about? That's a big issue. The guns are a problem because they're in the wrong hands. I mean, I'm a gun owner, and I believe in a right to have guns, but there's some people that just shouldn't have them. One of the things that they try to put the issue off as bars over serving and overcrowding. Well, I can tell you my sales are down 60%.
Wow.
I don't have problems in my bars. We take the liberty to, wand people coming in the door. We have dress codes, and we try to keep it the same way as it's been for 20 years, and we're fairly successful at it. But there are bad players in Broad Ripple, and like I said, one of the things they try to do is they try to tell you the bars are over serving, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. And then they try to tell you that it's teenagers on the street. And I'm telling you, these are grown-ass people that are out here, and they're not teenagers. There might be a few here and there, but most of the people out here are 20s and 30s. So, just allowing the congregation to happen, and it just gets to a flashpoint at a certain point during the night. And it didn't. There was nobody up here to take care of any issues on Friday night on Cinco de Mayo till 3:40 in the morning. So this was going on until all hours of the night, and there were no bars open, and there were just people hanging out in the street drinking and making noise and partying and whatever. And there's just no accountability. I've talked to city county councilors. I've talked to the Broad Ripple Village Association. I've talked to IMPD, and all of them just tell you that their hands are tied and they can't do anything. And somebody's got to be able to do something.
Rob, one of the problems that we see here in downtown Indianapolis, it's the repeat offenders, right? It's the same people committing knucklehead acts that just keep getting back out on the streets. I know you see so many people each night and weekend, but do you feel like it's the same type of people that keep coming back, creating some of the problems?
That's a tough question to answer because we're not really involved in that many criminal type investigations or anything. We did have a person that came through the bars, and we had to eject a couple weeks ago that had 4 felony assault charges.
Wow.
2 against one of my employees, 1 against one of my customers, and against a police officer that specifically the prosecutor, dropped all charges against. And 2 days later, they came in and stuck it in our face. We had to throw them out again.
Wow.
And had another incident with them. So, if that's an incident, in question, but, I can't tell you whether all those people out on the street are causing problems.
And Rob, it's affecting, before we wrap it up here, man, it's just, it is affecting your business, your bars.
Yeah, it definitely, you have to fear for your employees' well-being and stuff after 1:30 at night. We've tried now, and if you can gather what the Rock Lobsters like in the old days, we try to get out of there and give last call 2 or 2:15 when it starts to get bad on the streets. If we feel the need that it's getting dangerous and we want to take care of our customers and our employees, but for the most part, this is an issue that starts between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning on a nice weather night. If it's raining, there's no problems, and in the wintertime, you don't read about problems in Broad Ripple because it's too cold for this area to have people hanging out in the middle of the street. So it's usually a summer problem, and The guns are just rampant, and the firefight the other night on the bridge was just an example of that.
Rob, we got about 30 seconds left here. We know that we've got folks that listen to this program in law enforcement, at the city county building, the city county counselors, even folks in the mayor's and prosecutor's office listen to this program, even if they like us or not. We know they listen because we get response. You've got their ears right now. What message would you like to tell them?
Well, my message would be just get a hold of the problem and try to look at it from a perspective of you're looking at a mass casualty event going to happen up here. I mean, if you get 80 shots fired, it's a miracle there weren't multiple casualties on Saturday night. And to take a look at it and to realize that there's people that are trying to do the right thing up here, and that they need to get a handle of this situation, and they can't just be proactive, or they need to be more proactive.
Rob Sabatini, the owner of Rock Lobster in Broad Ripple. Rob, keep us up to date, okay?
Yeah, good talking to you, Rob.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
All sorts of action on the north side right now. First, a crash westbound 465 near ditch. That is blocking 2 left lanes. And right now, traffic is stopped back to Westfield Boulevard. Also, stopping the ramp from southbound 31 to 465 because of that crash. Eastbound lanes crash before Ditch Road. About the same area, a couple miles apart. And right now, the right lane is blocked. Traffic stopped back to 865. Northbound 465 stop from 86th Street because of that crash. And southeast side of wreck on southbound 465 after 74 left lane block stop and go traffic to I-70. Traffic sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Great Mother's Day gifts for $17 and under, like bath and body spa sets, fragrance sets, and more. Perfect for every mom. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
78 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Hey, Mark Dietl, real estate expert, only guy I'd trust to sell my house, and he's got this guarantee. He will sell your home, and if he doesn't, he'll buy it. Hey, maybe you're a growing family and need more space like Rob and Haley in Indianapolis. They had another child on the way. Congratulations. They needed a bigger home. They hired Mark Dietl. He launched this unbelievable marketing plan, sold their home in a couple of weeks for an amazing price. Plus, Mark's team found them a new, bigger home all in less than a month.
You have a lot of options in the real estate game. It seems like everybody these days is becoming a real estate agent. But the best in the business, the only one that we trust and recommend is Mark Dietl, because Mark Dietl has a guarantee in place that nobody can touch. Mark Dietl guarantees that he will sell your home or he'll buy it. That is the Mark Dietl guarantee. So why would you work with anybody else? Call Mark Dietl today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Some gifts have lasting significance. That's what I love about fine jewelry from Shane Company. It holds so much meaning. At Shane Company, we have gifts for every occasion. Fine jewelry crafted with attention to detail and made to last. For an upcoming birthday, get a stylish necklace with their birthstone. It's a wonderful gift because it lets them know how special they are to you. A diamond tennis bracelet makes a great gift for an anniversary. At Shane Company, we hand match the stones for consistency and have options in every price range. Do you have a graduate in your family? A gift of fine jewelry is a constant reminder of how proud you are of their accomplishments, and it's something they can wear every day. And don't forget, Father's Day is June 18th. Make Dad feel extra stylish with a new gold chain or a beaded bracelet. Visit us today or shop online at shaneco.com and get free express shipping. Your gift of fine jewelry will be cherished forever.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus next-day energy with melatonin plus extended-release B vitamins.
Hey, who's winning? What? Who's winning? Somebody spinning?
Race fans know the track is loud. For the hard of hearing, this confusion happens every day on the telephone. RelayIndiana.com can help. RelayIndiana.com is a free service that provides telephone access to the hard of hearing, so users have normal phone conversations through relay operators. Relay Indiana also provides free equipment to those who qualify. Enjoy the race and phone conversations. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Robert Kirby says they sell the American Standard brand because American Standard listens to the techs who install and service their products.
We went down to the factory and they want your feedback. Being in the field, you can actually see some things that they could change on the product to make it better. And right there on the line, they actually take your input.
Call Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning at 317-892-3614. Kirby is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
The Hammer and Nigel show. Hello, I'm Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. What's going on?
Birthday boy.
Oh, yeah.
47, is that right?
Yeah, I went to, had some lunch at Hibachi Grill yesterday in Whitestown, Harmony. And so we're sitting there, and they pair you up with other people that sit there around kind of like a dinner style, So there was another younger couple there sitting across from us.
I was really hoping you'd say you got paired up with Hogsett.
No, that would have been awesome. We would have been doing sake bombs like crazy. But I was humiliated. Here's why. So the cook, the guy who's doing all the spinning with the knives and the stuff,
right?
He knew it was my birthday, and he had like a big plastic bottle of sake, like a big giant ketchup squeezy bottle, but it was full of sake. And so he goes, "Open your mouth, and I'm going to squirt it in for 10 seconds." Right? I only made it about 3 seconds in before I started choking. I couldn't get it down. But the other guy sitting across from me, probably 10 years younger than I am, he turned around and he did it for him, and he did it for 20 seconds. I was ashamed. And then afterwards, I was so ashamed. The guy comes up to me and shakes my hand and goes, "Hey, I'm a big fan of the show." So it makes it even worse.
No.
He's going to go back to all his buddies now that, Nigel, that wuss, couldn't even do a 3-second shot of sake.
All that drinking he does must be fake.
So nice to meet a nice couple from Plainfield there. They were celebrating some sort of promotion. But yeah, good birthday. Yeah.
So with today being the special day that it is, I feel it's only appropriate that a certain song is sang. Here to perform, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden.
Well, look, my wife has a rule in her family. When somebody's birthday, sing happy birthday. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alice. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Velvet.
It's an evergreen thing. You can sing that to anybody.
That was the winner of Biden Madness 2023.
All right.
How much, in terms of hours, over, under, 3.5, how many hours did you watch of King Charles being crowned, Nigel?
That'd be a big fat 0. way under.
My wife was actually into it.
Really?
I almost filed for divorce over the weekend. And over the weekend, Charles was crowned the King of England during his coronation ceremony.
God save the king.
And if you missed it, here's the highlight.
So sanctify thy servant Charles, that he may be crowned with thy gracious favour and filled with abundant grace and all princely virtues. Through him who liveth and reigneth supreme over all things, one God,
this guy's creepy.
World without end. Amen. God save the king.
Meanwhile, Harry was way in the back. They put Dr. Jill back by the toilets.
Really?
They pushed them way far back.
Joe Biden's wife was there? Joe Biden?
The good doctor, Dr. Jill, was there, and she was back there by the can.
Harry was sat behind somebody with a giant red hat, and you couldn't really see his face. I think it was his aunt that was sitting in front of him with that giant feather coming off her hat.
Here with reaction to the royal family is the late, great coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Denny Green.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
but they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Denny Green with reaction to the crowning ceremony over the weekend.
Oh, wow. I was at a derby party Saturday in my neighborhood.
Did you get your bets in?
Got my bets in. I did not win. I forget who I had. It was a long shot, way long shot, way in the back. But yeah, we did like a drawing, like each couple had $20 in.
Right.
Yeah.
I had Tap It Trice. Did not work out. But when Racing Rachel from Horseshoe, Indiana came on our program on Thursday, she gave you the long shot winner. If there were going to be a long shot that could compete, possibly shock the world, who has a little action to him?
I like Mage. Mage is 15-1. It's the 8. Javier Castellano is riding.
She called it.
She got it, baby.
I texted you as soon as Mage won, too. I was like, wait, that's what Rachel picked.
Absolutely. So we'll give Rachel the shout out because trust me, when you go on camera or the radio and you do sports betting stuff, everybody gives you crap when you lose. Nobody ever says thank you when you win. So Rachel, thank you for the free long shot you gave on the Hammer and Nigel show. We've got Mock coming up next. Mock from the Chicks on the Right show. That's coming up right after we look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
What to know about those rain chances. 77 degrees, mostly cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. Not much on radar, but some storms could move in later. Low of 53 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:28. There could be some severe weather today.
It looks like probably somewhere in the mid to late afternoon time frame would be the greatest chance for those thunderstorms to really gain some intensity and produce some severe weather.
Radar now shows those storms could be here this evening. Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service says strong winds, hail, and flooding are all possible. A woman shot at a Dollar Tree this afternoon in Lawrence. Police say it happened at the store off Pendleton Pike around 1:30 p.m. That woman is in critical condition. Police believe the suspect knew her. Congress needs to address the crisis of gun violence in the U.S.
When we have 200 mass shootings in less than 130 days, more than one a day, this is a crisis. Congress must do something about it.
That's what White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters after Saturday's mall shooting in Allen, Texas, that left 8 people dead and more than half a dozen others injured. An attorney for President Trump has delivered his closing statements in a civil sexual assault trial in New York. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reports.
Author and former advice columnist E. Jean Carroll sued former President Trump in civil court alleging battery and defamation. She says Trump raped her in a Bergdorf Goodman department store changing room in the 90s. The former president has said she's lying. His attorney, Joe Tacopina, told jurors Carroll did not scream out or call for help, never told police, and said this scenario was the exact same one from a Law and Order episode. And Carroll just filed this years later for political reasons. He also dismissed the testimony of 2 other women who said the former president previously assaulted them as well, saying their stories have nothing to do with whether or not Carroll is believable. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The average price for gas in Indiana today, $3.41 per gallon, says GasBuddy.com. That's down 11 cents from where it was this time last week. With traffic at 5:30, here's Matt Baer.
Crash clear, north side, westbound 465 after ditch. Still stop traffic back to Westfield Boulevard. It's on the left shoulder, but out of the interstate. Northbound 465 stops 86 to 865, and we continue to be stopped well past Michigan Road because of a crash right now. It is blocking the right lane. And then on the southeast side, southbound 465, right around southeastern after 74, left lane blocked because of a crash, stopping traffic back and a little bit beyond Washington Street. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see their great selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and Napoleon grills, along with the big green egg. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
An isolated strong storm chance in place early tonight. Low temperature of 56 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies to start. A partly cloudy afternoon. High temperature of 73 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the drivehubler.com hotline.
One half of the Chicks on the Right, Mock, joins us.
Mock.
Lovely lady, how are you?
Hello. I'm
Oh, thank you very much. I am 32 years old today.
Okay.
But his liver is 75.
No, the big 4-7 today. Big 4-7. But thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Let's dive into a couple different topics here, if we can, here, Miss Mock. So, Texas has been a absolute mess this past weekend. It's been a mess for a while, but specifically, there were mass shootings. There were, I call it a terrorist act, running these people over on the street. Of course, everybody crowding the border right now in the countdown until Title 42 goes away. Just take me through your thoughts of what you're seeing from a whole with what's going on in Texas.
Well, we are not privy to the motives of either of those two Hispanic murderers yet, which is odd because, there's all kinds of speculation that it's like white supremacy in terms of the shooter in Allen, Texas. They're saying that this Hispanic man is a neo-Nazi white supremacist, which just kind of makes my brain hurt just from that.
Right.
It just makes absolutely no sense. But there's still so many facts that we don't know. We don't know what the patches were on his garb. We don't know what his tattoos mean. People are speculating that he's part of a Mexican gang. We don't know. And so the fact that there's so many rumors floating around right now is problematic because, it creates a narrative. And then if that narrative goes south, then immediately there's like radio silence on this, and we're just left to wonder. And it's like with the freaking Nashville thing, we've got this manifesto that we still haven't seen, right?
Exactly.
So it just makes me crazy. The thing about Texas that's so odd, I guess not odd, it was predictable. Last week we started talking about all of this Title 42 stuff going away, how bad things were at the border, and in particular El Paso, like around that church. Remember, you saw all oh my gosh. So we were talking about that last week, and I made the point that as this crowd continues to grow and resources continue to dwindle, you're going to see a massive uptick in crime. And so, like, what happened over the weekend was inevitable, and the problem is it's going to get way worse. And so if people are thinking in those, these are just border towns, this is just Texas and Arizona that's going to suffer, no, this is all heading north, and we're all going to be impacted.
Oh, I mean, the mayor of New York City said, hey, quit sending us your illegals, your border crossers. We can't handle it. And I'm like, how stupid is that? I mean, the tiny little town of El Paso, I guess it's not that tiny, but it's still not as big as New York City. You're telling me you can't handle it?
I was told they were a sanctuary city.
Exactly.
Are we not doing that anymore?
Right.
Is that not happening anymore, Mock?
Well, did you hear that Mayor Adams is actually shipping some of the migrants that have been shipped to him to upstate New York City?
I'm sure they love that.
Oh, my God. So he's calling up these mayors of these non-sanctuary cities, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to send like a truckload of migrants to you. And they're like, what? We didn't ask for this. This is your issue. We're not a sanctuary city. You said you would welcome them. Then do it. And so, like I said, it doesn't matter where you are in the country, you're about to be impacted in a big way. I mean, they're showing pictures of a football stadium that holds 100,000 people. Multiply the full stadium by 63, and that's what's coming over by the end of the week.
And
it's crazy.
Just from what you've been able to pick up, you read, you talk about these types of things, you watch television, you listen to the radio. Do you think folks on the left are great with this? Do you think they like what's happening at the border?
It's hard to say because I think that they
Biden
just ignore it. Well, yeah. I mean, we know Biden is fine with this wide-ass open border. He doesn't care. And so it's so frustrating because I'm to the point now where I used to, you would hear about crimes against various people. And now I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, because it's a matter of when and not if, when liberals are affected by crimes committed against them by illegal aliens, and it's going to happen, I will have not a single tear to shed because they are the ones that are voting for this. And so I'm done. I'm done feeling sorry for any liberal that is impacted by this. They are the ones that have the power to change it with their vote, and they're just not. I think anybody that runs on the Republican side, whether it's Trump or whoever, they need to make the border a humongous central point, a central focus of their campaign, because we're all going to be so negatively impacted by this. It's just impossible to overstate it.
And the biggest load of crap is when I see these liberals on Twitter or television, whatever, talking about, well, this is the humane thing to do. They're looking for a new start in America. This is the humane thing to do. Mock, if there were 100,000 people at the border that were all white wearing Make America Great Again hats, do you think it would be the humane thing to do to let them in? Would Keith Olbermann and Joy Reid be fine with that?
Oh my God, there would be like a firing squad meeting them. I mean, it would be completely different. And did you guys see that Gary Varvel cartoon? Gary, he's such a talented cartoonist, but there was a meme that he sent about the changing terminology of how they refer to the detention centers. Like, remember when? Yes. They called it Obama's Immigration Detention Center, but then when it was Trump, it was Kids in Cages.
Yep. Right.
And now we're back to Biden, and so it's Biden's Migrant Child Facility. It's all the same thing. So AOC, can go and cry about kids in cages with her white suit and her red steel lipstick, but it's the same thing is happening now, and she's just completely oblivious.
Mock, we're speaking with Mock from Chicks on the Right. You briefly touched on it earlier. We don't have the manifesto from the trans killer that killed Christian kids in a school in Nashville, but we automatically knew right from the beginning it was out there that this Hispanic man is a white supremacist. I mean, that was almost...
We're outsourcing our white supremacy to Mexico now. That's what we're doing, apparently.
What is going on in the media? I mean, what is happening here?
It's so irresponsible.
Yes.
It's just it's infuriating, and the speed with which everybody is reacting and making up. When all the facts aren't here, it's impossible to know yet what the motive is until we get more facts, until the investigation does play itself out. And who knows, if it ends up being that this was a gang member, if this was someone that, I don't know, if his parents were illegals or whatever, just the story will absolutely vanish. It'll be gone in the blink of an eye.
Chatting with Mock from the Chicks on the Right show, chicksontheright.com. So over the weekend, Mock, Nikki Haley, presidential candidate, she's speaking at some commencements somewhere. She was the invited guest speaker, and she made it very clear she wanted to bring up dudes playing women's sports. She went out of her way to bring this up in her speech, and it was quick, but you could tell this was a really calculated move, basically saying, we live in crazy times, men competing in women's sports, this isn't normal, and then she goes on with the rest of her speech. But you can tell this is something she's probably going to hang her hat on as long as she is in this presidential race. Is that issue, men competing against women, letting women beat women, is that a big enough issue for her to make some ground up?
I don't know. It is a big issue. And maybe I'm just a little bit biased at the moment because we just had Riley Gaines on with us for our deep dive this past week.
Oh, wow.
And so... yeah, and it is such a growing issue across multiple sports, and so I can see why Nikki would want to latch onto it because it is the whole trans issue. When you see the Bud Light fallout with Dylan Mulvaney, I mean, it is becoming more and more and more a cultural issue that even outside of the sports realm, and so I don't know if she's honing in just on that aspect. That seems a little odd, but to focus on sort of the erasure of women as a whole by the trans community, I think it's timely because it's an issue that a lot of women are feeling really impacted by. So maybe it'll help her. Cultural issues always resonate or tend to resonate more with younger crowds because that's what they care about. They're not as interested in like wonky policy stuff.
Right. Because let's be honest, when you look at the Republicans, as of right now, it's Donald Trump and then everybody else. We're anticipating DeSantis to get in, and he'll have some support as well. And then you've got a list of other folks from Tim Scott to Ramaswamy to Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley's already kind of staking claim to this is going to be my thing. This is going to be the thing that I'm going to campaign on.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how that all shakes out, and it's not even over, right? Like, so there's still talk about Asa Hutchinson, I think, is officially in. There's talk about Sununu getting in the race. Like, this is still so early. And there's a couple folks on our immediate production team that we were talking with, that Daisy and I were talking with, who are saying that based on what they're hearing from their experts in D.C., it's looking as if it's possible that Trump could lose in some of the early primary states, New Hampshire, Iowa, South Carolina, for example, and that Glenn Youngkin is who they're predicting will be the nominee. And I was like, what are you smoking? Like, that doesn't even that makes no sense to me. But then I thought, it is really early, and this is such a crazy time. And so I can't even speculate at this point what's going to happen, except that it does seem clear that if DeSantis gets in, he and Trump will rip each other to shreds, and maybe that will mean that somebody completely different will sort of rise from the ashes.
Where can people find you and Daisy every morning? Is it on chicksontheright.com? Is it on Twitter? Where do you do your show?
You should check us out on any podcasting platform that's your favorite, whether it is on Apple Podcasting, whether you want to watch us, stream us live. You can do that on Locals, Twitter, Getter, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. So we're on absolutely every streaming platform you can think of at this point, every morning at 7:15 Eastern.
Mocktails. Woo! Mock, you're the best. Thank you. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
You ready for some moonshine, my friend?
Yeah. I probably should give my liver a break. It was a big weekend.
It's your birthday.
It's the Derby and then the birthday party yesterday. But, yeah, of course, I'm going to get some moonshine in me.
A birthday edition of Moonshine Monday next.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-1509. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care, too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today. Then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Hi, Daddy. Are you almost home?
Very soon, honey. Just running a couple errands.
Daddy, question. Can we have donuts for dinner?
No. Put your mom on, please.
It's Daddy.
Don't worry. We're not having donuts for dinner.
Oh, hey, just a heads up that Mr. Quick will be there in the morning to check the air conditioner.
Perfect. That'll be all done before my family visits this weekend.
Schedule Mr. Quick's AC pit stop for only $89 and get a smooth running system all summer.
Call Mr. Quick for on time.
We've all dealt with a contractor who doesn't make you a priority. At Indy Decorative Concrete, we are invested in each of our customers and strive to make the project effortless from start to finish. Indy Decorative Concrete. Big enough to service, but small enough to care.
Guys, if you see motivation and drive, it could be low T. Schedule your complete health assessment at Low T Center. They now offer the convenience of monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments for $155 a month cash pay or covered by most health insurance.
If you don't live near a Low T Center or just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy to get started on treatments. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Newsmax is conducting an urgent poll asking if it was right for Fox News to fire Tucker.
Do you want Tucker back on TV? Let us know what you think. Vote in the Newsmax poll. Just text us now. Text the word RESPOND to 39747. That's RESPOND to 39747. Let your voice be heard. Text RESPOND to 39747. Millions made the switch to Newsmax. You can too. Texting enrolls for automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Trane heating and cooling systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local independent Trane dealer. It's hard to stop a Trane.
Need a new furnace or air conditioner? Get the best from B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains.
Just go to B+W.com. B&W is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, crash clear, north side, westbound 465 at Ditch, eastbound 465. That is a crash before Ditch, blocking the right lane, stop and go traffic back to 865. Northbound lanes jammed from 86th Street up to 865. Southeast side crash, southbound 465 after 74, blocking the left lane, stop and go traffic back to Washington Street. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see their great selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and Napoleon grills, along with the Big Green Egg. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
78 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
And it takes me back to a simpler place and time when we used to kick back and let the moon shine.
Hello. Moonshine Mondays here on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Man, after all the serious stuff that we've talked about today, from crime in Indy, crime in Broad Ripple, what's going on at the border, Texas, we need this right now.
We do. I'm just concerned. This is the last of the mason jars that my contact in Decatur County had given me. Over the past, 10 weeks, we've been trying out different moonshine flavors, actual moonshine, like that is distilled in the backwoods, Decatur County. And
stuff you can't buy on a store shelf.
Right. This is the last of the mason jars.
Have you been in contact with the contact and said, hey, we've renewed you for season 2?
I have, and there are more on the way.
Okay.
More samples on the way, more flavors. We've had everything from, what have we tasted? Green apple to
watermelon.
Watermelon to white lightning.
Yes, peppermint, candy cane.
Again, this is distilled in a shed somewhere in Decatur County. This is the real stuff.
Somebody may have been barefoot making this. That's how you know it's good.
And it's not illegal to make. It is illegal to sell.
But we didn't buy this.
We did not buy this. We were given this, and this was a gift. So here is our, I'll just go ahead and tell you, cherry.
Cherry,
okay. Saving the best for last.
I'm excited for this one.
Oh, man, I can taste that right away.
Oh, boy.
That's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Boy. Just go to commercial break now, and let's just drink more of this. And when we come back, we'll see if we're even able to talk.
All right, we'll be right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. Oh, man.
Woo! We used to kick back and let the moon shine. Just let the moon shine.
The Voice of Health Minute with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration.
Whenever you have diabetes, it uses up vitamins and minerals at a much higher rate than the normal person. Really, with a diet, there is no way with type 1 or type 2 diabetes to be able to keep up with your nutritional needs. When we're talking about supplementation, it's basically concentrated foods. You're not talking about something that's medicine. Oftentimes we're using concentrated foods so that we can get that into the system, but it's absolutely necessary. Everyone who has diabetes should be taking supplementation from a structure function doctor. That is something that is absolutely necessary. Type 1 diabetes can't be reversed, but type 2 should always be able to be reversed. That is something that is very workable and can be done if people follow the recommendations